All right, guys, welcome back. It looks like they already got started, so just to fill you in, it's going to be we're playing ape, obviously, race to 7, and I think we have Marshall up at the table. I'm not exactly sure, but we are playing the Jesters match here at the Mad Apple. My name is Kyle Drake. Joining me in the booth momentarily will be Chris. So we got Marshall, I believe, at the table running the solids. Kind of jumped the gun on us there. But he looks good to be on the 7 roll through, coming off this 12 ball. If you hit it good speed, should be able to end up on the 3 somewhere, right? And the 8 ball is pretty comfortable in both of those top corner pockets. Yep. Oh, came off that 12 real nice for the 3, but unfortunately caught the point on the 7 ball. All right, all the stripes are there. Gonna start this 14, probably come across for the 11 in the same pocket. Almost found the drink. He might be corner hooked on that 11, which would force him to shoot the 15 at this point or play a safety. I mean, I don't really like a safety just because the 7 ball is hanging. So, probably not the best option, but if you can see this 11, you got to shoot or you got to force to take the 15. I think that's short. It's overcut. Now it looks like that 15 might have blocked the 3 ball up in that top right corner pocket. There's a cut on the 7. Very, very thin. If you can get that one to go, though, you pretty sure to get shape on the 3.
Switch, or do you want to produce?
We got Chris jumping in here real quick.
All right. Jesus. Get in here.
There you go.
Did you do the intro?
I tried. I just tried to catch up, play catch up here, and get straight into the match, just like these guys kind of did. So
Yeah, I mean, they were behind because of the Queen's match that ran over, so they got right to it.
no problems.
They asked, should we start over? And I'm like, no.
Right.
Marshall's on a break and run here. Like, I'm not going to be that guy. Is he?
No, not anymore.
Oh, okay. So welcome to the first game of the Jesters match, Mad Apple Burger and Billiard. Make sure you get out there and share. Try to get the numbers back up. We did restart it because a lot of players are saying, they really want to have their own video with their own name on it, and it's easier to send to their friends.
Right.
And, we'll talk to Patrick and see what he thinks about that too, because it's tough to lose 60 viewers and start over with 10.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's tough for these guys because they don't want to be at the end of the Queen's match.
Right.
And it's hard for people to find it. So this should be pretty exciting. Randy Parilek and Marshall Williams. So Marshall has 1. I didn't teach him the scoreboard. Hopefully he knows. Otherwise, we'll have to yell out to him. He did type his name in. So we'll see. This would be a good social experiment. Does he understand the scoreboard? Oh, I think he's got it. +1 for Marshall. All right, so we got Marshall 1, Randy 0 in this race to 7. 8-ball BCAPL rules. How you been, Kyle?
I have been good.
Thanks for doing your thing today.
Yeah,
With
always.
Patrick being gone, he's camping. So, guys got to get a break too once in a while, right?
Yep. Last week was my break.
Me too.
Yeah, my mom kind of took over for a minute.
Did you go back to Arizona?
No. Nope.
Oh.
She was just out here. She's actually in Greece right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, she sent me a couple pictures. It is really beautiful out there. And the food looks really good, too.
Oh, man. Food. Don't talk about food now.
She's living it up out there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Greece. I mean, I'd like to see it. I know their economy collapsed, and now it's been a few years, so maybe there's a little rebuild going on.
Right.
Do they use the euros now?
Probably.
Yeah.
I really don't know. She would probably be the best person to ask, but
Sounds like a good time either way.
right. And like you said, if their economy is so cheap, probably cheap to go visit. But
Well, minus the flight.
right.
So I know you can go from Appleton to Mesa, Arizona for like $100.
Yeah.
You know, and that's nonstop. How close is that to where you used to live?
Like an hour and a half.
That's not bad, really.
No. I've been meaning to get out there, but just trying to take care of a couple more things here before I really feel comfortable going on vacation.
I totally get that.
Speaking of taking care of some things, we got Mr. Marshall taking the stripes. So he's got the problem with the 913.
What if he
right?
just runs 7 racks in a row?
Well, he already didn't run the last one.
Yeah, but it looked like it to me because I
You took
I
a
went
little
out there.
break.
I was like, "Hey, you guys ready to start?" And they're like, "We're already in the middle of our first rack." I said, "Oh, I apologize." But it looked good. Then I went and got a beverage and whatnot.
That looks pretty good.
I mean, he seems to have the cue ball control down on this new cloth.
Yeah, very interesting to see how the table will play. I think, is this our first week with the new cloth?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched the MH match. Was it on blue? I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, so I think this is probably it. And there was no kings. We have yet to find a challenger for Giles.
Big shot here.
If anybody wants to take them on, 600 plus, you want to show your stuff, don't mind traveling, plus you get a free hotel attached to the pool hall. Not just a cot underneath the pool table, trust me. It's a nice... The Clarion, they got a saltwater pool and a hot tub, and you just got to be here Friday to take on the challenger. You can sign up. If you're interested, contact me, Chris G, or Kyle. But
Yeah.
really, contact Patrick. He's the list master.
Yeah, he knows all the ins and outs and who's up and
Get you the questionnaires and stuff.
yeah. Definitely the best guy to talk to. And he's very good at getting back to you.
Oh, yeah.
He's very prominent with that. He's on vacation now, so probably wait until the middle of the week.
Yeah, I mean, his phone's off or whatever, so just don't expect a response.
Right. But I'm sure this week when he gets back, he'll be more than happy to take care of whatever you guys need.
So he wanted to get perfect position on that 13, caused him to miss the 10.
Not even sure that 10 ball really went, to be honest with you.
Maybe a bank? I don't know. Definitely a little
Just
bit.
because he missed it pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
It to get any closer to that 8, I think you got to clip it. It's almost one of those things where you might think you have half a pocket, but you don't. That edge of that 8 might probably stuck out a little too much for him because he really wanted to stay away from it. Man, it really didn't threaten the pocket that much.
He's got the phone holster in full effect. I remember I used to make fun of Gary Voska because when he would stroke back, he'd spin it because it would hit it and it would spin. And I'm like, doesn't that bother you? And he's like, I never noticed it. But then after I kind of gave him some, I razzed him a little bit. He
got in his head.
He took it off. Yeah. But his game went up like 50 Fargo after that. So
yeah.
Go figure.
Okay. So I think the big problem, if you want to call it a problem, I would say just something you need to be cautious about is the shape on the 1 and the 2.
These your glasses?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Can't you tell?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I don't know whose they are. The things that get left in this booth, I'll tell you.
I feel like these would be Patrick's.
The Patrick's Glen.
Now that's a beautiful shot there. Now he's on the 2 ball, pretty good, right? But you still want to be careful about how you play shape to the 1, whether you choose the side pocket or choose the top corner, because falling in between those two can end up kind of funny. So here it looks like he's taking that top corner.
I like it. I mean, you might get into trouble with the 9, but it might go around it.
You can definitely play a little bit of a stun to get kind of between the 9 and the side pocket, but as you can see, that's not a big window. So I think he's going to run into the 9 here a little bit.
And did it get out of the way?
I think that new felt helped him out. I think it cleared enough. If not, I still think he can really spin this ball in. But it looks like he might be aiming for the bank. No, he was able to get it.
Perfect. That one's for you, Jess.
He hit that one really good. Fortunate that 9 really crept out of position from blocking him. So that was ultimately a really nice run out. He got real good on the 2 ball, and then made a pretty good decision with the 2 to the 1 as well, with simple shape.
Well, he definitely came with it because he knew he was already down 1 game, and did what he had to do to tie this match up at 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge that you get off the board. We always say that's probably the biggest game.
Right.
And now your nerves are kind of settled in. You're ready to get at the table. You feel it. Starting to get comfortable with how the table's going to play, especially these new conditions, right? Very hard to know how to judge certain shots and how the table's going to play when it's brand new. So very important to get as much table time as you can early. So he played off the head ball there, but he played like a cut break. So it acted like a second ball break. It looks like he broke dry, but he has a huge cluster over here on the left side. Looks like Marshall's coming to the table, probably going to take the solids. Starting with the 6, going into the 8, 1. If
I like
you
that.
need to. If you need to, right? Because it's hard to judge exactly what's going to happen here. That's what he's trying to figure out. You don't necessarily have to come away with the shot, even though your 3 ball is hanging there, right? You feel like you got a shot,
Right.
but you can real easily get caught up in all of this traffic here going into that 1 ball. Real easy for the cue ball to get stuck behind the whole cluster. And that's why he kind of strayed away from it, I think. Playing shape for the 2, but
it's a more guaranteed next shot.
Right.
What he did there.
The only thing is that when you're establishing your suit, you really want to make sure you choose a shot that you know you can make. Because a lot of the times you end up selling out the suit that you would have liked, just like kind of here. He's playing shape for the 2, played really good shape for the 2, but didn't get the ball to go. So you're selling out the solids to your opponent, which is what you would have liked to take. So always try and start with a ball you feel like you have a higher percentage of making, even if it changes your pattern. Because you take that low percentage shot and you sell out your set that you liked.
And you're absolutely right. Randy takes solids right away from Marshall. A little bit of chat here. We got Kaylee. Good luck. I don't know if you went through some of these. And good shooting to both of you. I'm guessing Kaylee Parilek, that's maybe daughter? I don't know. Let us know. Dennis says, go Randy. Kaylee says, you got this, Randy. Travis Wilson, love the cloth. Looks great. And then Kaylee once again says, good job, Randy. Nice shooting. And that great phone holster. Smiley face, laughing. I mean, does he go anywhere without that holster? I bet not. Does he have a fanny pack to go with it?
Only on special occasions.
I mean, you need to put stuff, you know? Got the New Balance, the fanny pack, and the fold holster. I mean, it's the full package.
He's got the dad starter pack.
He's got the Corvette in the parking lot.
No doubt. Well, it looks like he might have a run out going here, too. That one ball is in an interesting spot, right? Very tough to say whether or not it goes by the point into the side.
It looks like it does. I wouldn't have any problem shooting that one in the side.
Right. From the straight on view, it really looks like there is
that
enough
shadow
space.
Kind of gives you that, but makes it look tighter than it is.
Yeah, I think it's very doable. Obviously, you got to get there. You might see him end up playing like the 5 off of the 1 to free it up. I don't necessarily like that if it goes, though. So, see, he might take if the 5 passes the 13, he might take the 7 off of the 1 into the side pocket, right, to free the 1 up. And then you're always guaranteed a shot on the 5, assuming it goes by the 13 on the bottom left. So that's an option as well. But again, if that 1 ball goes in the side, I don't like playing off of it. I really like getting to the 1 ball now if you can. But here we go. He might be.
Oh, tried to cheat the pocket a little bit. I think I did like the 7 first. Maybe slide over for the 1. You know, he might have been planning all the way to the 8. Right. Thinking that he can kind of work his way to the 8 in the upper right corner, because that's the only pocket that really goes into.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these guys, they're at a level where they're planning 3-4 balls in advance. Not all the plans go as planned, right? You got
Correct.
plan B, plan C. You change as you go, especially with 8 ball. You get that opportunity.
And probably playing a little bit insurance, knowing that the stripes aren't necessarily wide open.
Right.
It still takes a good pattern to get on that 15 ball really nicely.
Maybe a little nerves there, trying to put a stroke on that ball.
Well, now look at this. I think that 9 ball takes the 8 ball away, so you got to put the 8 ball in the side pocket by the 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm planning on whatever it takes to make the 5 and bump the 8 down table. You know, even that if that's just a little bit of an angle.
Right. You only need to move that 8 ball like 3 inches up towards the top rail, 3 to 4 inches for it to go either past the 11 or the 9. I feel like if you get it,
it's a tricky table.
Past past the 11, it'll go in either corner. If you're planning on moving it, this is a good opportunity here.
I mean, if the 8, I think the 8 still goes. So you shoot the 5, then the 6, then the 8. Just tic-tac-toe. Right? Connect the dots, whatever game you like.
He missed that one. Oh.
Tried to hold the cue ball by hitting it thicker. But that would have been it. I know the 1 goes. So you just pop that in, stop shot, 8 straight in the corner.
Past the 9? You think it goes?
Oh, yeah.
It goes. If it goes, it's half a pocket.
I think it's a full pocket. I mean, from what it's hard to say. I like from my angle, it's almost like, yeah, I'd say 90% of the pocket's open. What do you guys think out there? Does the 8 go in the upper right past the 9?
I think it.
looks
I
like
think
it.
it goes off the left point. It's definitely not a full pocket, in my opinion, though.
Well, we'll see if he gets another opportunity. The 9 might not be there in a minute.
Right.
15 is going to be the problem ball.
Which is why you probably want to take the 9 earlier than later.
It's a tough table again. You got 3 or 4 options here, and somehow you have to have a shot on the 15. Pa Mason says, "Yep, Kyle, you're wrong. You owe me a Mims burger now. Double cheese with cheese curds."
Oh man. Okay. Fair enough.
No, that's just kind of an ongoing joke because I've been trying to get Mason to go out to the Mims. It's a local establishment in Menasha. Real old school. I think they've been there for 20, 30 years. They put a half a stick of butter on the bun. And when you get something to go, the bag is like wet.
Yeah, drip.
Yeah. Not my thing, really.
All right, so he's going to take this 12.
You know, he's staying confident with his stroke, but it's always tough first couple games. You got to settle down a little bit. Maybe go for more speed shots. You know, where you're just rolling things in until you get the feel of the cloth. A lot of players, and I've seen players like Robbie, you know, Schmidt. He'll hit everything pretty hard to get in stroke.
Absolutely.
And then when he starts popping them in, the English is working. He knows he's dead on. It's just different styles of play.
Yeah, and I think I'm more of a let my stroke out a little more.
Right.
To find it. I always think it's a little easier to tune it back than it is to amp it up. So if I can amp it up to begin with and really find it that way, it's much easier to.
That's a good point.
To tone it back, and I feel like I have more control over the stroke after I tune it back because I've already played it with, you know, more speed or a little more pop. You know.
Oh, I like that. That's a good thought. Makes sense to me.
Absolutely, and so.
You only have so many chances though against a good player. So
absolutely,
you know, so it's a tough gamble.
Exactly, absolutely, and I think that leads to like it's an aggressive style of play, especially at the beginning of a match. Right? He got it to go. There you go. That's that pocket speed. That's the new felt that would not have gone in with the old felt, but he slid it right on in, knowing that's a pretty big pocket.
Speaking of the cloth, sup Kiss, haven't seen you for a while. She says, new cloth on the tables, good, smooth rolling now, and nice to see you.
Absolutely. Yeah, these pockets are going to play pretty big for these guys for about a week or two, I would say at least, because from what I've seen, now that the table has been refelted, the only time the table has been uncovered has been for this match or these matches today. So, like, we're not letting leagues play on it. We're not playing any tournaments on it.
Right. They tried, but they called a table 9 for Thursday league, and they were like, "Oh, why don't you go to 3 because it's summer league, so we don't use all the tables."
Right. Yeah, and I think
keep it nice, keep it locked down for just this. If we
right,
can.
as long as you can. I
Right.
definitely agree.
So looking at the layout here,
I think it was a dry break.
Yeah.
As well.
Just to give everybody an idea, brought to us by Wisconsin Billiards Hall of Fame, good old John Kramer. Probably out golfing today or enjoying himself. Actually, I saw a picture where he was in his golf cart, and somehow the sprinklers went on, and it was spraying all his clubs and golf cart. It must have been a malfunction. If it's going to happen to somebody, it's definitely going to happen to John.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely something wrong with the timers, but
Yeah, during the day, in the middle of that's not right.
also sometimes you need to water the grass.
Well, I guess it's just bad luck that his clubs and cart were just getting. It was like 2 feet away from the thing. It was like someone
Yeah.
was just hosing it all down. I mean, if you've got a $3,000 set of clubs, I think that would kind of probably tick you off a little bit.
Absolutely. Taking the stripes here. That was a good stroke. Very good, clean stroke. Let's see what he got out of it. He might have got more out of that than he intended to, trying to play one of those stripes in a side pocket and just overran it. Still got the 9 ball, or, you can play a cut on the 14, but I think the 9 ball is the way to go. You can roll forward for the 11 that way and get that one out. But you still got to worry about this 15-12, right?
Yeah, I mean, the 5, everything. Both players are going to have some issues to work through here. So Supka says, I've been real busy here on the mountain. Bad air. Yeah, we sent you that. About 3 days ago, it was in Wisconsin. Couldn't even go outside. She says, your flag at the bottom has been redesigned and looks real classy. Yeah, Kendall redid all the logos. Made them nice and crispy and clear so you can see everything. Did a real good job with that. Kind of maybe to match the gray cloth,
Yeah, it looks
I think
really
that was
nice.
the inspiration for that. I like how the games played are now quite clear with the Fargo rate in red and blue. And that is true because the red player and the blue player left, right? Looks good to me.
Absolutely. All right, so he's playing this 14. I'm wondering how he's going to get back to the 11, right? You got to get back to 11 right now or get decent shape on the 13 to get back to the 11, almost towards the top middle of the table.
Fires that in.
Now, this is a good shot. This is a great shot. Now he's got a cut on this 15. Oh, my. This worked out really good. He's got a cut on this 15 on the side going into the 12, right? Even if you go off the 8 looks like it's pretty safe.
Yeah, and you don't have to hit this so hard.
Trickle out, correct. You're just going to come off the 12, really probably push that 12 pretty close to that top right pocket.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you still got insurance with the 13 leading to the 11 with the correct angle. So that was a beautiful positional shot there. He's going to, see, look at that. Even if he doesn't push that 12 towards the pocket, he's still got shape on this 13.
Opens up the game.
And cue balls are naturally floating down to the 11. Any angle on the 11 will get you to the 12, and the 8 ball is wide open. So that was
the tangent line. If you try to slow roll this, looks like it's coming quite close to the bottom right pocket.
Absolutely, it definitely is. So you need to either really touch this ball in and play it with a lot of top but not a lot of speed, or kind of play a stun that's still flirting with the corner. So I think you'll just see him float it in just like this.
Just float it in.
And see, he hit it thick, and
right.
And he makes that ball, it's gonna come off of that point.
I mean, it was a risk. It was a risk. Even cutting it thin with top would have probably put it in the pocket.
Close to, yes, absolutely. It was always going to be close.
So stun, which makes the shot so much harder positionally, man, what a weird position to be in. I think I would have done the same thing. I would have just tried to slow roll it and just hope.
Right.
Just hope I hit a point or something, because, I mean, really, you just want to be down on that 11 so you can draw out of it and game over.
Yeah. You can also hit that ball with some inside.
Try to shorten it.
Correct. Well, you can cut that 13 even a little thinner,
right,
and make it so that the cue ball has a little bit thinner of a tangent line off of that 13 to almost cheat the pocket a little bit, throw it in a little bit, and make sure you come thin enough to get catch that bottom rail without scratching. But that's talking about throwing a lot of spin and with not a lot of speed. And, if you catch it too thin, obviously you miss the ball. So it's very touchy shot. But that's another thing you can kind of do to get away with having to hit that ball that thin or worry about the scratch that much.
I think Supkiss is being a little snarky. Floated the cue ball in.
Yeah.
New cloth is fast, so the cue goes further, and Patriots rejoice. Thank you for the compliments on the 4th of July, and happy 4th of July to everybody out there, your families, and hope you have a fun weekend.
All right, that was a nice opener. Kind of open up these balls. Just make this ball and float back into the middle of the table anywhere. You're going to have plenty of options.
I kind of like not saving the 1 for too long, I mean, 3 for sure. But I think I don't like the 1 where it's at because of the 13.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my next ball. Ooh, flirted.
Well,
he's got the 1, I think.
Right. If not,
Maybe
that
not.
7 might be dead in the corner.
That's okay too, yeah. Just pop that in, maybe drop back for the 2. I mean, you're gambling a little bit now. You're kind of going with plan B here.
I think whatever you do here, you just got to make a ball and try not to play too much shape at all.
Well, you just don't want to leave the 2 to the end of the game, if possible. I mean, I don't mind going back and forth, but
as long as you put that 2 in that bottom left pocket, you should be able to float down for the 8 if you need to, right? Even if you're straight in, you can play a draw.
Well, he's got the 1. Ooh, he's been doing that on that pocket, hitting them thick.
Right.
He put a lot of bottom left on it to try to roll it in, but these rails aren't grabbing yet.
He almost scratched, if you saw.
Right.
He came
Flirted.
off that top point of that side pocket, almost scratched. So
Opportunity knocks here for Marshall.
Absolutely. Although, right, you got to play the 13, leave yourself a little bit of angle, so that 11 to the 12 is not necessarily a
too straight
guarantee.
in. Just stop shot, maybe another half ball forward.
Right. You're gonna be on the rail. You want to make sure you can clear that 2.
Oh, he wanted a lot of angle.
Now you can't clear that 2.
Interesting. I get what he's doing, though. He wants the angle on the 12 so that he can shoot the 8 in the same pocket. But you could have done that without having such a sharp cut.
Yeah. It's just going to be a little trickier. But
it's more natural. Let's see.
You saw him trying to, aim up if I run into the 7, right?
Right.
But if you overcut this 11 and still make it, you can clip the 2. You just got to make, and then your speed is really hard to dictate. So you clip the 2, always take a little bit more distance.
That worked out.
It worked out really good, but now this is kind of a touchy shot too.
Right.
Luckily, he's gone new felt, so the pocket's pretty big, right? You can just really focus on making this ball. Should have some kind of shot on the 8. Just as long as you don't float this ball in.
Don't float it. More of a stun. You want the ball to go in. If you see the tangent line, it goes off the rail and floats over to the left side, almost the same exact play. So just a little bit of stun. Some people play this with bottom right, but I think that sometimes takes some of the speed out. So he put bottom right on that. It's hard to tell because he clipped it so thin.
Right. It's
but it
just
did hold
that
it.
Shot is so much easier when you're close to
Yes.
the ball.
Yeah. Well, everything's closer. Everything's easier when it's closer as you get older.
But I'm just talking about as far as the touch that's required to kind of kill that ball one rail. With that much angle, it's so difficult to do from space. Whereas if you're kind of on the other side of that 2 ball, it's much easier to kind of play that at a high pace and stun over for the 8.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have what he had than be straight on the corner ball, because then you have to power the ball over.
Right.
And we've seen that where you have to stroke it so hard just to get the ball to move 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he
and
had a good shot.
Those will rattle on you as well. Absolutely. But just my preference is if I have to take that much angle, trying to get as close as I can.
Right. A couple more feet would have made a big difference in that shot.
Yeah. And you almost guarantee yourself shape at that point. You know, you just make it a nice little kill stun shot, and it naturally floats over. But
I like what he's got going on here.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
I kind of like taking the 7, floating over for the 2, finish up with the 1-5. But I mean, it's personal preference. I mean, you're pretty good on the 7 right now.
Yeah, I don't mind that, just because you always have shape on the 1, even if
Plan
you get
B.
bad shape on the 2.
The only downside to that is going from the 1 to the 5, making sure you have an angle to come out for the 8. See, that left him pretty straight. He might be able to force this in with top, come out.
It's not a very fun shot, but it's
No.
you know what? It's more doable now than it was 2 weeks ago or last week, where you're going to get a lot of action on the cue ball because it'll slide a little more.
That's why he took a little more time. He was thinking bottom, top. Nope, I'm going with bottom. Yep.
And there you go. See, he cheats the pocket nicely there and gets a lot out of that cue ball. You can see that.
Really did.
And you see how much he had to throw it, too, with all that spin. So very well hit. And
it's a tough shot, though.
He got a lot out of that. Yeah, he got a lot out of that.
This is another one of those scratch shots. Oh, he went for the... Oh, I didn't even see that. Yeah. I thought all he had was a 7. That actually worked out a little close to his work.
A little closer than a little.
If you just tap this in with a little bit of a punch stroke and you don't foul, you just take what the table gives you and you shoot the hard 8. I mean, You can't really try to get too perfect on this because you're gonna double hit.
You almost want to get that replay ready. Make sure he doesn't stroke through this one or something.
Well, he put so much angle on it that, he's good there.
That's a lot. That was a lot of, he tried to throw that in. And, he kind of almost got away with it. This is a tough cut. Very doable cut, but not the easiest shot to get out, right? So
another opportunity for Marshall to tie this match up.
Yeah, you got to go for this one.
Yeah, I mean, you just roll it in. I don't think I'm putting a lot of power on it. I'm just going to roll it in. Follow through, stay down. He came behind it, which is usually what happens when you're trying to cut something thin. We've all been there, yeah.
No doubt.
I just want to thank everybody for hanging out. If you can like and share, and if you want to help the juniors program, become a member of the channel. All the streams we do here are free. Otherwise, I mean, a little bit of ads might pop up once in a while, but we do appreciate everybody out there.
Follow this right on up.
He went for crossing the leave instead of just coming towards the leave. Always harder. I kind of like your follow where I'm thinking you were just going one rail back down.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit of check.
Yeah. So shoot the 8 the upper right. I was thinking same thing.
Well, he's going to shoot it in the upper right.
Yeah.
And this might be another instance where you're trying to, because you can come off the outside of that 12 and end up real bad.
Maybe a two-way here.
This is also kind of scratchy.
But if you miss, you're blocking the 12. Well, I mean, that was probably his plan. If you miss, you're blocking the 12. It left a tough shot.
It's kind of the same yeah, right. So he probably didn't want to hit it quite that thin. But you're right. That was probably a little bit more of a two-way shot. Now you kind of give away that same shot
it's
here.
Another opportunity.
Yeah. And, I mean, he just took a cut like this. I mean, this one's probably more difficult.
How brutal is it, though, that every time you get up to the table, you have, like, the hardest shot you shot in a week?
Exactly.
You know, that does kind of affect your game. until you get out.
Well, he can also nudge. He can also super slow
play it
roll
safe.
nudge.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But
Oh,
went
did he
for
rock it?
No, he didn't. He missed it.
Yep, he concedes the. Well, he concedes the whole game. I did not tell him about the concession rule, so we can't go out there and stomp our feet. But honestly, as far as I'm concerned, after having such a long Queens match this morning, I don't mind extra 2 minutes back in my life.
2 minutes is a long time to hit a ball in hand.
But you never know. You aim, you get up, you get up. No, but I mean, we do have a stream rule that we do want every game to be finished for you guys. You never know. He might miscue shooting the 8. You never know.
And we love that drama. We want to see it.
I mean, that would have been a shocker. It's very respectful to Randy that Marshal's like, you know what? I know without shadow of a doubt that you are 100,000% for sure going to make the 8, not scratch, not miscue. I'm going to give you the game. That's a lot of respect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ball in hand, 8 ball.
Shouldn't miss it.
A lot of the times you give those away because you're frustrated too. So
Correct.
More than anything, not just because that guy's gonna make it, but you're just frustrated and let's get on with it, right?
Right. 100% agree.
And I mean, obviously, this is a 2-man tournament. Sometimes that's a strategy for some people. They'll even, if you're playing some guy for 3 hours, right? Maybe a race to 20. And it's a fairly tight match the whole time, but he's giving you 10 balls, right? He's giving you 10 balls. Oh, man, like sometimes I feel like I would miss that 10 ball, and he gives it to you.
Yeah, it's a Sharky thing, too.
Well, when it's 19-19 and you got that 10 ball, right,
Mm-hmm.
you've only hit 4 the whole match that had any kind of pressure on them. And now you got to walk up and hit the one that matters. So
yeah, they're not giving you that one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're not as prepared as if you had hit every 10 ball in leading up to that point. And so that's another thing that you might consider a strategy or something that comes with big, long races and when you're playing one person for that extended amount of time. Just an interesting, head game I always thought I, would recognize a little bit. But I'm sure that's not what Marshall is doing.
No, I would think more of the frustration.
Exactly.
At that point, which we've all done it. We've all been there.
Yep. So we're on with it. You got the 12 and 13 hanging in this rack. But the 14 doesn't look that great. I mean, if you get shape on the 10, you can break it out. So I like the stripes here, I think. Although the solids look pretty good too, other than the 7. I think you got to pick stripes just because that 14-7, the 14 has a little more advantage positionally. Starting with the 15. Not sure he called it off 2, but it went, and that was pretty sweet. So now you're looking to deal with this 14. Do you play the 10-13 combo going into it right now? I like it. If you're confident in that 10 ball cut, you should come off the 7 ball pretty nicely. And obviously you got quite the big pocket with the 13 hanging. Big shot, but I think this is what you got to do. Big shot. And he played it to perfection. Go ahead and
Yeah, you can't complain about that.
Hit that replay button on that one.
I think I'm taking the 11.
I don't mind it, right? You got the 12-10 hanging. Tough to. You feel like you're not going to get hooked.
You might not get a better shot on it. I mean, the 2 is a big ball down there. It's like a beach ball.
Yeah. And really where you're at the 4 ball kind of too. But
he did it.
There you go. He played up.
Prove
nicely.
me wrong.
He played up nicely to it.
Now, do you take the 14 though?
No.
You know,
No.
put a little draw and do the 11, 12, 8. I mean, that's what 8 ball's all about, changing your mind. And
well, that's when you start hitting the ball bad. That's when
Yep.
your stroke starts to show that you're not confident in your pattern play, right? A lot of the times you miss balls just purely because you overthink your pattern.
Right. He came out real good on that though. Perfect speed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was there. It was, he knows the pattern that he likes because of where he started, right? He knew he wanted to get a little better on that 11, and he did immediately off the 10 ball. So he obviously felt comfortable about these 2 balls being his last couple on the table. Whether it be the 12 and then the 14 or the 14 and the 12, he felt like the issue of that rack, and that's a mistake there. But this is still a very kickable ball with shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You feel like you got the whole table. You're making the right choices, and then you snooker yourself.
Yeah, and if you notice, he did hit that ball pretty thick into the rail and still swallowed it up, so that's why he missed position. If he makes that ball dead center, that cue ball will flow a little bit more up table, and he should have had a shot, but he just caught it thick, and that's why he came into that 6. But again, this one's pretty kickable.
Ooh. Just missed it. Ball in hand for Randy.
All right. There's a good opportunity to extend the lead.
I don't know if you noticed, but I did. Randy has disengaged the cell phone.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. He's got to be about 5 pounds lighter on his right.
Right, it's throwing his whole balance off.
It could. If you're used to having that always, I think you get used to whatever you get used to. And
All right.
what an opportunity, though, right? I mean, you thought you were done.
Right, in this rack, yeah.
And the guy gives you ball in hand, and you got to execute it 100%. I think I'm shooting the 6 first. I don't know. I mean, the 6, the 1, the 5, they're all in similar situations, but the 6 only goes in really one pocket unless you get behind it. I like that. It comes around, has the 1, probably can fall, roll up to the 2.
Roll up to the 2, roll up to the 4.
Right, if you overhit it, you got options. Now, but watch, I bet you the 6, unless he gets in a perfect spot, might become an issue for this rack.
Yeah, you definitely got to be careful about that one. I like getting rid of the 1, and then I like getting rid of the 6, if you can. So he'll play the 2 next here. He's a little straight. He might come between the 4-7 and try to play the 4. And really, if you come up a little short on that, I like it because you can make the 4, roll up for the 3, probably have a good angle to get to the 6, or you might have an angle on the 4 to get to the 6 right away.
I mean, either way, you're gambling a little bit when you got to let your stroke out like that.
It's going to go. Yeah, see, now he's kind of weird.
Yeah, cutting the 3's not easy. I mean, you could shoot the 4 into the 12 and block the pocket, but, if it doesn't go, you're leaving a bank. Maybe. You could play a safe. Just ticky tick on the 7 and leave him on the rail.
Play a ticky.
Oh, he went for it, put lots of draw on it, right into the side pocket.
He gave it a good chance. Always tough to avoid that side, especially, I think I probably would have tried to roll through the 3 ball.
Right. Bump into it if you have to. I think I would have played safe there.
Take you off the 7. I mean, you
Yeah.
always leave some kind of kick.
I mean, I'll take that chance, though,
Yeah.
because I'll probably miss that shot. That 45-degree full table shot with shape. I'd probably miss that, and then I'd sell out either way. So might as well,
Put the pressure on.
yeah, give him a 20% chance to make it and get shape. I think my odds are pretty good. He played that really well, though, from being in the pocket.
Right.
8-ball looks like side.
Gets
Not
it
a
to
problem.
go. He almost got the outside of that point, but
He clenched a little on that one.
Yeah, a little bit of exhale when that one falls in. Definitely one of those that can get you if you're not careful.
Take a look at the pool hall a little bit. We got our juniors out there playing. We got Ray over there acting important. Look at him go. He's in his element here. What else we got over here? We got Dean. And we got me in need of a gimbal.
A gimbal. I knew that one was coming.
Well, I mean, because it has no stabilization. It's like we're getting one, though. I tried to fix the big expensive one, and I found out that one only works with big, heavy cameras. So there is no way to make it work for a cell phone.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a $300 gimbal, it only works for like cameras, which we can't really use.
All right, 3-2. Marshall's down 1, but he's got the break. Let's see how he hits it. We missed his first break. It looks like he's playing the second ball. No, he played it off the head.
A lot of left English. I wonder if it was unwanted or if he likes to play bottom left and hit the ball. Probably more on the left. He probably got a little off to the right there.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did a little bit, but
I mean, just a millimeter is all it takes.
it's just an interesting spot. I don't know. I always am such a student of the break. I think it just the way it plays out is so interesting. One thing I just noticed is that he breaks the head ball from quite a bit outside of the middle that I'm used to seeing.
Right.
So it's just something that
When
I
it's
was
dry.
interested in.
So it'd be interesting to see if he changes.
Right.
Right? I mean, it's not working. That might be the second dry break from Marshall after winning.
Yeah, right.
And that's nobody's running the table, right? So maybe that's not going to affect you. Maybe it's better to let the opponent run 4 or 5 balls and then give you ball in hand.
Right. Clear the table out for your patterns and things.
Can't always guarantee that's going to happen, though.
Right. That is something that you don't necessarily want to count on during your match. You don't want to have to hope that your opponent is going to miss and leave you a clean run.
Got that right.
But sometimes I guess you can definitely play a break into that strategy, and play the second ball break with a little bit less speed and where they are all going to group up. You almost feel like they're going to group up on one of the side pockets. And then, allow your opponent to take a difficult run out. That's a little bit more defensive tactic. But again, it's just not something you see a lot. A lot of the times when you're at the table, you feel like you want to be the aggressor. You want to take advantage of your opportunities when they're there and not necessarily give your opponent an opportunity to make a tough run on you, right? It's like you always want to be that aggressor. And so it's a fine line of knowing your ability, knowing what your game is most strong and most weak at, and making decisions on the table based off of that.
That's a very good point. I mean, and your confidence levels can go up and down throughout the match.
A lot of the times they will, absolutely. And sometimes that plays a factor into your decision making as well, which really the less you allow that to dictate your decisions, the better. You know, you should always be confident in your
Slide over.
you should always be confident in your decision making, whether you're down, 4-1, or whether or not you just missed 3 shots in a row that you feel like you should make. Should still be making the correct moves in your head more than anything.
It's what do they say? 90% mental. Once you get the basic fun. Wow, that was an interesting shot. Did you see that, Karam?
Yeah, I don't think he called it.
No, but that was
Yeah.
defied physics a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely going to give the position away.
Well, thank you, Subkiss. We had some issues with the camera, so I went and did the calibrations and the focuses. And the gray cloth does help with the contrast a little more. The blue was just so heavy, and I think that was the main reason why Matchroom, switched to gray. It's just easier for the camera crew, I'm sure.
Easier on your eyes, really.
It really is. I mean, look at gray over there, and then look at blue over here.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what we're used to.
I was saying that, I think the other day. It's just way more aesthetically pleasing and easier to look at for a long period of time.
Kind of like you, Kyle.
Yeah, hey, man. I grow on you.
Oh, you want to watch a shot?
Yeah.
You do? Good luck. Do you have slow motion? Otherwise,
I got it.
all right, he's got it. He's got it. So they came to the booth while we were dinking around and asked us to watch a shot. So what are we looking at here? Obviously, the 3-ball. I wonder if we got a better view. Yeah, I kind of got to leave the overhead, You get a double replay here. Look good to me. Yeah, it definitely looked good. I'm doing a replay on it right now. You can see it solidly hits the 3 first. The tangent line on the 8 is what you would expect. I'd say good call there, Kyle.
It was really, really close, but it looked nice and full, and the cue ball didn't float. It didn't float off the 3 like I thought it would if it came off the 8 first. So it looked good. All right. So he took that 3 down, leaving that 7 in a difficult position, though, right? Now, big decision whether or not trying to run the rest of these balls is really worth it. And he decides against it. Very, very disciplined move there.
I mean, you got to do it sometimes. Maybe things haven't been going your way. You don't like where you're at.
Now, did he leave a cut in the top left here for the 14?
I think so.
That's huge. If he can get this, he might go into the 7 or the 8. Your cue ball's kind of floating into danger with that 8 ball. But if you feeling good about it,
yeah,
you can come away with a shot on the 11 as well.
I mean, the tangent line should miss the 8, but you could hit the 7 into the 8 then with the cue. But you could also get
off
rewarded.
The back of it, though.
Right.
See what
Oh,
I'm
he
saying?
put draw on it.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Does he have the shot on the 11?
You got to feel like he's also got the cross bank
Yeah.
off the 8.
It's a big pocket if you hit the rail first.
And you're kind of bumping the 8 out into a good area.
And where's the cue ball going to go?
Out
Perfect.
towards the middle. So we might see him do that.
That one's for you, Jess.
Oh, there it is. What a shot. What a shot.
One after another. The highlight reel is going to be all Randy. You notice he's shooting better after he disengaged the cell phone.
I think his balance is back. What a shot.
Got to finish it.
Swallowed it up. What an out.
Got it.
Wow. He really didn't hesitate on that cross bank at all. And this one swallowed it up pretty nicely.
You could see he kind of shoved the cue a little nervously. A little bit of left, and the left threw it to the right. Very close to a rattled 8-ball. But it went down, and that's all that counts. We've got Randy at 4, Marshall at 2, race to 7.
Yeah, either way, that's really got to hurt if you're Marshall almost, you know? You played a pretty decent safety. You give him a super difficult shot like that. He comes up and nails it, gets great position. You know, really almost unfortunate to end up with having to hit that bank, and then he comes up and gins the bank. So really 2 to 3 good shots in a row to get out of that. And we're going to see how that affects Marshall, because playing a safety and the guy gets out on you, I'm very interested to see if Marshall kind of steps away from that defensive outlook and starts to take a little more chances towards his offense. Again, both these guys are breaking pretty far off center to be playing the first ball. Is that another dry break?
I mean, they haven't figured the break out yet. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely, it was another dry break, and you got to take. I feel like you got to take stripes here.
Yeah, the 4. The 4 does go down.
It goes there. And the 7's there, but you still got the 6.
The 8 is pretty blocked up without the solid.
6 is kind of ugly. The 2 ball is kind of ugly. Well, the 2 ball goes, right? And it blocks the 11 ball nicely. But I still think you got to take the stripes. I mean, the stripes are just so nice.
Yeah, if you can't take the 7 first here, I like the stripes.
He is going to take the 9.
And this will open up that 8. Might take care of the whole problem.
This is looking better by the minute here.
This is another get your camera ready. Might be unless he can sneak that in right now, which would be perfect. Because if you're shooting at it from the bottom right side of the table, I guarantee they're going to ask for a ref. Looks like he might be skipping it.
I don't think it goes. I don't think you have enough.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So that's going to make that a little tricky later.
Might be able to bank it down in the bottom right. Long rail bank.
Well, and it is a safe, in the making with the 4 ball there. Not saying Randy can't break that out off the 7 or something, but it does give you a little bit of confidence that your opponent can't just run out on you if you miss.
Right.
Which in a Jester's match, sometimes that's what you need to win. He went for it. Comes around. Luckily still has the 12.
Yeah, this is getting a little tricky. Tough to negotiate this 11 ball as well, right? You would have liked to think that you were using like a... And this is another really big discipline move here, just to try and hang this ball. Now, do you start with the 7?
I think you have to.
Start with the 7 and draw to the 4. And, that 15 ended up in a funny spot. It's tough to say that you like playing the 4 off the 15 or, into the rail off the 15 because of where it's sat. It's a big double kiss ball where sometimes that ball isn't sat right to make it a big pocket. It actually closes the pocket off, where that it's just always kind of sitting on that double kiss line, and you're never going to get it by. You're never going to get that 4 to squeeze through unless you just blast it through there.
I do like this, though. I mean, if you stay down and you follow your fundamentals, this should be a makeable shot.
It was always makeable. And look at this. He might get a get away with it. No,
It
not
goes
quite.
right back. This is why sometimes I don't play ball. Like, you miss the ball, the 7 goes right back. So if he leaves the 15 there, you're still going to be struggling.
Yep.
I'm going to take another 3 weeks off. Randy's got my kind of luck.
Yeah, and it's tough to want to leave the 15 there because it's really your only good-looking shot, and the shape here isn't necessarily.
I don't mind shooting the 12 and just snuggling that up, for a safety. He's going for it though. He's going full aggressive play.
Does he have the 12? I don't think it's close if he's got the 12 or not.
I don't see anything. No, we didn't bring up their questionnaires. I don't know where they're at, but I'm guessing both of these guys can jump.
Yes, I believe you're right.
The queens both did dislike jump cues. Up arrow there is a lot faster, if you can see it. Yeah, I forgot to set up the questionnaires for you there, Kyle. You're in the co-pilot seat. I think we're gonna make that the co-pilot seat job. Bring up the questionnaires.
All right, I got you.
My guesses are way at the end. Yeah, there you go. So we got Randy Parilek and Marshall Williams. Marshall Williams is second to last. Randy has been here before, so my guess is he's probably somewhere in the top middle. You can almost kind of count down where they're at. We got a lot of technical stuff up here, and to get this thing running smoothly, unlike last week with Patrick, who knows what he was doing. He kept crashing the stream. He was clicking on stuff he shouldn't. I don't think he's listening, so I'm safe. Goes for the 4, hangs it. Does give Marshall another chance, a very good chance here to get out, because that 8 will go in the upper left. And if you float it, probably the top. No, not with the 4 there. Take that back.
I'm not sure I'm seeing one for Randy.
It's possible.
Let's see where we're at. Taking this 13, the 11 ball is a big problem. Can you get to it now? Yeah, that 11 is going to prove very tricky. Don't think he has an angle to draw into the 2 or something like that. He might be able to stun off the end rail and back with some stun right. It looks like he's pretty straight. You have to really punch that ball. And now he's looking at possibly banking the 11 cross side. So that's pretty difficult as well. Just because shape to the 8 is not necessarily a guarantee at that point. Obviously, the 8 ball doesn't go in the top right. So you really got to think the only place you're going to play that 8 ball is in the top left. So I think he's going to try to get to that bank in the cross side. This is super difficult, though. He hit it pretty sweet. But let's see how he...
So the problem is with our questionnaire is MH came through and renamed all the questions with his answers. You see how it says Morris Hornblower Penglaze?
Yeah.
That should be like, what is your name? So I got to fix that. Apologize to anyone who's trying to fill out the questionnaire. We'll get that fixed by next week. But we do have Randy, and we do have Marshall. So maybe some of the questions will be good. But so what happened here on the 11? Little didn't get on that?
That was the only place he could play from where he was on the 12. So we're
It
gonna
does
see
cut.
him. Well, I was gonna say it also cross banks.
Yeah, the crossbank might have been a way to keep the cue ball in a little more control.
And come off the 2 or something.
Right.
Because I really only like the 8 ball on the top left or banking it in the bottom right.
Patrick says, I hear everything. It's funny. I tune in to see the kind of trash the blue light special is talking about me and hear that. Too funny. Well, you got good timing because that was the only time. Otherwise, it's been all compliments. So, take that with a grain of salt. 99% compliments, 1% crashing the stream all day Sunday.
Oh.
Hope you're having a good time camping, Patrick.
He did not. I don't think he touched another ball there.
Did I catch a replay on that?
I think you did. I think you did. Yeah, watch. I don't think he touches another ball. See, the 6 and the 8 don't move, so it's not a foul.
Well, we can watch it again, and if they want, they can come up and ask us, but we're not going to go out there and tell them our opinion.
No.
So the 6 doesn't move. He bumps the 1.
They're back. They moved the ball back.
So they settled that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to go.
And I agree with them. I think they both came to the agreement that no other ball moved.
Yep.
So.
1 ball is the option of your opponent to move it back, or if the opponent says you can move it back. That has changed in the rule book.
Right.
In the past, it was you can't touch it twice. But if the opponent says go ahead and move it back, which is usually how league goes,
Yeah.
you just slide it back and you continue with your shot. Now, if you bump that same ball again, it's still a single ball infraction. So you could just keep on moving it back until you stop hitting it. But as soon as you move 2 separate balls in BCAPL rules, it is not ball in hand foul.
Right.
Or, yeah. And we are playing cue ball fouls only, which makes that a little difficult. You go all ball fouls, everything becomes way easier.
Mm-hmm.
You move anything with anything, and it's a foul. There's
right.
no questioning the rule book. And exactly, we aren't pros, so we're only doing, Supkiss makes a good point, cue ball fouls only. I mean, we aren't pros. You guys might be. I know Patrick is almost a pro.
Yeah. And then he wakes up.
Yeah, I sometimes I wonder, is he stroking the ball or is he sawing wood?
This rack did just get a little interesting here with where that 8 ball finished up. Right? You got to feel like if you're Marshall, it's going to be tough to kind of get that 11 in and have something
You got
that
to
you
bump
like
it.
for the 8. Right? You might have to play the 8 ball through the 4 ball if you're Marshall as well.
Hopefully Randy's got another ball on the table that you can, play the safe on. We'll see what happens here because, I mean, really, Randy's got control of this.
Yeah, and he's got the run out, right?
right.
He can take the 6 here, take the 1, take the 5 if he wants to. But really, you're focused on. Yeah, see, I'm not even sure.
I think he's getting a little, it's a little bit of that. I know I got another chance.
Right.
I'm a little nervous, and then you miss it by a diamond. I've been there.
Well, I think the right shot there, if you're trying to run out, is the 1 ball. But
yeah, the 5 would be
I'm
something.
sorry, the 6. The ball
Right.
that was behind that front ball, and I think he played the, because really you don't have to go into that first ball.
So now you don't. I mean, I guess you got to go for it here. I mean, there's no safety. Oh, that's going to be ball in hand.
Which is, it's not much different.
Right.
You're still forcing Randy to take this run out.
Right.
Which apparently, I'm not sure exactly. That's what I'm saying. Last shot, if you're trying to run out, you take the ball that you don't have to run into that
Correct.
top one.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And so, the best move for Marshall if he gets back to the table is just try to deal with the 4 ball, right?
Right.
Try to put that 11 up there by the 7, by the 4. cause some traffic, and then maybe if you get back, you can kind of take advantage of that pocket with where the 8 sat, because even if you make this 11 ball, you got difficulties with the 8.
See, I'm probably going to make the 1, draw back for the 6, follow up for the 5, get that out of there.
And then
And then deal with the 7,
yeah.
4, because it is a backup plan.
Or you deal with it right now.
Sure.
And kind of put your faith in the run out, which I don't mind, right? You can realistically
if
start
the 1
with the
goes
7.
in the upper left, then that I'd be okay with.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it does because he's shooting it in a weird.
He's shooting it down table, which is fine.
So he's doing the same thing, but just doing it differently. See, he's looking at the 6. I would have just stunned over that. I mean, it's what you're confident in. What do you like doing? And Randy obviously is more comfortable just doing follow. And what do they say? They say follow for the dough, draw for the show.
Yeah.
I've heard that a few times.
Draw for the show, follow for the dough.
Right.
Yep. And that's usually how you would, like to play the ball.
See, that 5 ball I knew was going to be an issue. I don't want to shoot that here right now.
It's still not that bad knowing you got some insurance with the 4, and you might take a pocket away from the 11, right?
It is, but you had the chance to win
And
with
you
ball in hand.
did not expect scratching. But again, right?
What do you think about this? 11 into the 4.
I don't mind it.
Maybe call it in the corner if it does drop. But just play it so that it blocks the 8 and the 7.
I'm trying to run into the 8 ball.
Yeah, of course.
2 ball.
But I mean, you got ball in hand. It's not. I don't know how small is that window between the 7 and the 8. It might be too small to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Playing that 11 between those two, you can even come off of the 8 with the 11, and it'd be okay.
He's going to do that here anyway. So if he misses the 8, it's still going to be blocking the 7.
Is he calling it through the 4?
I'm sure he's gonna. So you know what? Honestly, I take that back. I do like this better, especially with how tight the 8 and the 7 were.
Interesting to see how hard he plays this, right? Because really, you don't have to blast it to get it through. You don't want to blast it to get this ball through. You want to play it at a nice medium pace so that it has some forward momentum, but not enough to deflect off the 4 and take a jaw off the pocket and rattle out.
What
and
an
really,
interesting game.
When you play this, you're okay with under hitting this ball because you're blocking the 7. And there you go. See, he didn't.
So that's what I was worried about, though.
But he still probably hit it a little tough. I mean, he probably didn't catch the 4 as cleanly as he wanted to either. But when you hit it with that much speed, it deflects off of that 4 and catches a side rail or a point. And really, you just want that 8 ball creeping forward where it just barely rolls through
Just
most
creeping.
of the time. Yeah.
But now he did give. If this 7 goes, it's an opportunity there.
But really, that's a tough shot. And it's not going to go.
Well, you can tell this table's very level because that rolled darn true.
Nice true shot, and very difficult shot, and it looked like he cut him off of the 5, so he couldn't even take the 5.
So isn't that amazing that we always get in these kind of games? I mean, Randy had ball in hand with the whole table, made a couple of choices, and now Marshall's getting the victory.
Right. And
I mean, that's pool.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where you got to be confident in your ability to get out when you're supposed to get out. I think you let that, well, if I miss, start to creep in your head, and that starts to bleed through to your stroke, and you don't necessarily stroke the ball as truly as if you had a one-track,
right,
I'm getting out mindset. I'm supposed to get out here. I'm going to do it, right? I think your stroke really represents that confidence in when you're supposed to get out, when you choose to run out, and when you start to second guess it, you start missing shots, you start ending up on the 50-yard line just because your mind is on the 50-yard line. And so for Randy, he should have been out there a couple times. And
So
I
it's kind of for
think
both of them. They had chances.
right,
But
absolutely. And I think Marshall's a little more confident in his run out ability right now than Randy. And that last game really showed it. And the score line is probably going to show it later on in this match. Now, it's a race to 7, so it's a 4-3 race. Very evenly matched.
Right.
But I think right now in the confidence area of the match, I think we're going to have to give that one to Marshall.
And imagine if that was your Hill game.
Right.
You would
exactly.
analyze that for the next 6 months
Absolutely.
in your head,
Randy,
losing sleep.
Yep, Randy would say, I should have been out there. I should have been out there, multiple times in that rack. And obviously, this match isn't even close to being over. Realistically, you
Look at
still
these
have a lot of
breaks.
pull. Yeah.
That's 3 dry breaks from 3 wins from Marshall. I think Randy maybe made a ball once.
Yeah, right. We're not seeing a whole lot of balls fall. And neither of them are really breaking from the middle of the table from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, maybe move to the right side.
Yeah.
Because this is brand new cloth, brand new spot. Make sure it's tight and try a different position. Maybe even a little less speed. I don't know. I mean, you got to try something.
Yeah.
Because like this, look at the table.
It's ugly.
Yeah. I mean, you could swing at anything and still get back to the table.
Yeah. I mean, as far as stars go, I don't see any good stripes.
I don't like it.
You got the 10. You got 10 as a stripe, but you got the 9, 15 to worry about. The 14-3 is kind of ugly.
I mean,
the 12 ball sits good if you like stripes, right? But where do you start? And how do you get to the 12 or another
Right.
shot?
And Supka says weird break, which I do agree with. We were talking about that. He's hitting it a little bit off to the right, and he's putting a lot of left English on it, which probably just gives you less power into the rack with all that spin. And, so maybe try moving the cue ball over like a couple inches to the left, see if that corrects that. I don't know. You got to try something.
This might be one of those situations where I might play a safety and play a trap, right?
Yeah.
Which one do I not like?
Put that in the pocket.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I love doing that. A lot of people don't necessarily think of that.
But they're
as a
both
move.
bad. I mean, the stripes and the solids are bad.
But what you can do here is you can make one look pretty good by breaking them out, right? You can make it look pretty good knowing that. See, I like this starting with the 5.
Yep.
That was the only shot I really liked.
Then if you make it, you come out for the 1. So that's the 3rd time we've seen him hit that thick.
Yeah.
So that's cutting to the right, left side rail. Definitely something to put in the practice book.
Absolutely. Start practicing pinching that ball down the rail.
Right, because if you don't have a problem on the right side of the table, then it just might be like a left eye, right eye dominance thing, You're better at cutting to the right, not the left, vice versa.
Yeah.
He went for the breakup. I think he's rewarded with the 11, but
I don't know if it passes that 13.
the 10 might go.
And if it does, it's kind of scratchy,
The 15 will go off the 5. This could be a revolutionary run out.
If he gets it, I don't like his chances here. I don't even like shooting. But I mean, what do you do if you even?
I mean, you could just tap this over to the pocket and leave. You can't go wrong by putting balls in pockets and leaving them there.
Right.
I played a game called One Shot with an older gentleman named Mike Roselle. And it's the most frustrating game because you only get one shot. You play 8-ball, but you only get one shot. So a lot of your shots are you have to make them, and you have to block pockets. And if you get blocked, you have to make their block.
Look at that.
He went for the jump, flew it off the table, ball in hand there. So anyway, it's a fun little game called One Shot if anybody's interested. Similar to Lifesaver. In a lot of ways.
Yeah. I played that one.
Oh, what do we got here?
If anybody's watching, just peep in here. Just say hi.
Oh, is that Little John?
LJ.
We got James here.
Let's see. So you're shooting the solids here.
James Baumgarten will be, and I hope I'm not butchering the last name. It will be taking on MH, the Potting Penglaze, for the Knights match at 4:45, 4:30 today. So subscribe, hit the bell, become a member if you'd like.
Tough starter here, right? Obviously, you got to do something with like the 7, 2, 3. All those kind of go in weird places. I feel like you gotta shoot all those up table or kind of figure out a way to get the 11 out. Or, there's a lot of options, but I would start with dealing with that 7, 2, and the 3 as soon as I can.
Boom.
Now that 5 and 1 still look like they're okay, right?
Yes. And the 7, I mean, from here it looks like you could cut it in, but what reward are you going to get for risking
Nothing, yeah.
all that?
I liked starting with the 2 into the left side pocket, and I'm not sure if that 3 goes by the 11. If it doesn't, it's got to go up table, but I think it does. I think the 3 goes by the 11. I would start with the 2, bump into the 14 to open up the 7, and then take the 7, and then the 3 goes by the 11 as well. And then your 1, 5 go, so that's not too much of a problem. That
Rolled
was a
up.
good shot.
Yeah.
This was a good shot. But again, where are you getting to next? That
Yeah, a
10
lot of
ball
players
is
will do this to themselves. They'll make all the balls and then kind of be in like what they call like one ball hell.
mm-hmm.
And we all know how that goes.
Yeah, see, I don't even know how you're getting shaped to your next ball, really. We'll see what he comes up with. I mean, obviously there's got to be something there. But I think my biggest question is whether or not that 3 went, because if it went, I would have started with the 2 and dealt with the 7, because I think that 6 ball was pretty accessible.
Right.
That he started with, just because even if you need to, you can play the 1 into that 10 and pop the 6 out. Where you can't really move this 2 ball, 7 ball, 3 ball into a favorable position. You got to really be pinpoint with your cue ball in order to kind of deal with all 3 of those. Now you might be looking at trying to go into the 14 now. Which is, I don't mind it, but you might get that 14 tied up to the 2 or tied up, that 2, 3 might end up tying up together. Tough to reach this ball. Man, this is fraught with danger. How is he going to deal with it?
I think he's going for the save. Tap it out.
I don't know.
I don't like it. As you said, I just don't see how you're getting all these other balls out of there. So I think a little bit of bottom, kind of a masse.
Well, it didn't turn out bad at all, I'll tell you what.
That's darn good.
Yeah, he got a lot done with that, actually. At least tied his ball up. Tough to get out from here, so I think we'll see a little bit of a defensive game from here. And that's going to end up really well, too. Can he see? All you got is the edge of the 5 here. That was a great shot. I think you can see the edge of the 5, right?
It's tricky. I don't know. I mean,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
you can definitely see the edge of the 5. And what, just return the favor. Just leave the 5 in the middle of the table. Maybe buy you some extra options. And now the 2's open.
Right.
Oh. Kind of blasted him up, rearranged, shuffled the deck.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's going to work out in his favor 100%.
Well, he did tie the 9 and the 15 up. So if I was Marshall, I'd be eyeballing that a little bit.
Well, those are the only two balls that didn't move in that.
Oh,
that
didn't
shot.
they? Oh,
No.
okay.
They were already
Thank you.
there. That's one thing I was going to bring up with the 5 is that you could have played the 5 in front of them, but they already kind of don't go, so there's no
Right.
point. This is the only shot that I was worried about giving up, and he didn't come away with anything, right? So that worked out. And really, the solids look nice and open now if he can get back to the table. But Marshall's going to have something to say about that. Just exactly what do you want to do here, though? You got a couple options. You could play the 11 off the 14-10,
I don't mind that.
but you're kind of risking the cue ball a little bit.
And what's the reward? Your 9-15 are still frozen.
Exactly. The only really good thing that can happen there is that if your 14 kind of moves over towards the middle of the table, and
Well, play it safe. Try to leave the cue ball in the upper, portion of the table, down at the bottom, but at the upper on your screen, maybe behind the 8. They wouldn't have a shot on anything at that point, but you are giving up an opportunity.
yeah, I really like if you're going to play a safety playing off the 15-9 with a heavy right there. See, that was a pretty good shot, but now what? I mean, you can still play a safety right here if you want.
Something has to happen, and he knows that. So he's aiming up. He's looking at this 9-15. What are we looking at doing here? Yep, just a roll up. Get it behind the 15. He did leave the 5, but honestly, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, tough to. Right, you really want to make this 5 and come away with shape on the 7.
Right. And the speed that you have to make this 5 almost makes it impossible to not be shooting a 3-7 next or something.
Right, or
it's
the 2-7.
right.
Yeah.
It's not over. These games, I'm telling you, they're putting some excitement into each one of these racks, and you never know who's the clear victor.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not a whole lot of running out. We're seeing a lot of chess from both guys.
Well, the breaks aren't helping.
I definitely agree with that.
So he makes it, and
so this is beautiful. I think he's gonna. Oh, it might have just rolled too far.
yeah, maybe just let's see. His body language seems to show that he's got it.
Yeah, he's down on it. He's down on it. See how much left he's hitting?
A little curve. Yep, trying to do the behind the back safety play there.
All right. Well, that ball sitting in the side does not look like it goes, so you got to start with a 14.
We can look at the side view briefly. Yeah, the 10 will go once he gets over there.
This is a tough shot. He's called in the 14 in the bottom right.
Wow. What a
And
shot.
Almost
What
a 2
a shot.
Yeah, now he's in good shape. Now he's in good shape. That 8 ball clearly goes by the 7, you guys can see, so the 8 ball is not a problem necessarily. It'll go in either of those pockets. That was just one really good shot on that 14.
I mean, that might have bought him the game.
Yeah, and that would tie the match. This is a big game for him.
You got to think about this one, though. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to play it, and a ball in a pocket's always tough, and there's a lot of traffic.
I feel like he's making the right move. He'll draw out of this.
Yep, draw out of it, and you'll either have the 10 or the 9. And it looks like the 8 goes in the upper right, past the 7.
Got a lot out of that one, but
I think he was going for the 10.
yeah, he hit it beautiful. I'll tell you what. This new felt that's one thing that a lot of players don't really get the opportunity to get used to. Is the ball draws so nicely when it's brand new felt. It doesn't lose any spin when it makes contact. It keeps the same velocity of backspin through contact because it's so slick. Plays so nice. And so he really controlled that pretty well. gives himself a good opportunity to get out. Now, I thought when we were looking at the other angle that 8-ball clearly went by the 7. But here, I'm starting to second guess myself. But it looks like he's going to stun this ball, so it's got to go, right? Yeah, she goes. Very deceiving overhead angle there. Big game. Big shot here.
Sneaks it in.
Yeah, plenty of room.
Tied up 4-4 in a race to 7.
Yeah, that was a big game for Marshall, making a strong stride here. I think that's 2 in a row.
I mean, that's got to be either
At least
one
2.
way. Yeah, 2. I mean, because he brought it back up, and now he's tied, and he's looking to take the lead on the next game. Let's see if his break improves. Maybe he tries something different. But on the mental side is where I was going with Randy. This has got to be something he's going to have to make an adjustment for, because that's 2 chess matches that have just not gone his way,
Absolutely.
and that can get you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to see Randy play a little more aggressive. Because obviously you're right. Those chess match games can really weigh down on you, especially when you like play a good game. You know, you play good 8 or 9 shots,
Right.
and don't sell out, and then you do sell out a tough shot, and he comes up and runs out on you. And so, but I think that happened to both players as well, because I remember Marshall played one, and then Randy came up and played that cut on the 14, running in into the 11, played the 11 off the 8. And that was the last game he won. So both players I would like to see just play a little more aggressive for the sake of they can get out when they have the opportunity, because we've seen them both get out when it's there.
Well, opportunities here. He broke a little more to the left. He hit the rack on the left with his left English, and he made balls. And everything's opened up now.
Beautiful
So
split.
I think that's going to help. What do you think he's taking here?
Well, I think he's going to start with that 6, just because starting with the 11 is not worth it. You got to, like I said, this is the most important shot when you're establishing control of the table, is making the ball when you need to.
Select that suit and then roll with the punches.
Absolutely, and this is one of those tables where you can roll with the punches. You don't have to play perfect shape, it looks like. They
Although
all go pretty good.
this might be the first rack where you feel pressure that if you miss, your opponent might get out. Because
Yeah.
everything's open. I don't see a problem for either suit. I mean, Randy gets a look at this. He's making 3-4 of them, if not all of them.
Right, but I don't think you're worried about that if you're Marshall.
No, I mean, obviously you got to focus on the task at hand.
It's right in front of you, too.
Put a good stroke on that one.
Yeah, he did. And that was a real confident shot. There you go. That's one of those things, right? He could have played the 7. But that shot he just shot probably required a little bit better of a stroke than just rolling the 7 ball in. And
He might have hit it too well.
He got rewarded for it. I think he's good.
I mean, he probably wants to roll up for the 7 or stun over for the 7 in the bottom right. I'm not sure. Maybe, does the 7 go in the upper right?
Past the 8, I don't.
Yeah.
I want to say no, but it might slide in. New rails.
Then we'll see. This might be exactly it. Yep. Stunned over.
See, that's 2 good strokes. He's starting to feel it. Now he can just roll this one forward.
Yeah, I mean, he might be thinking, I wish I was a little bit more on the other side of it, but just take it. Shoot the 7, roll forward, and just take the 2 from a little bit more distance.
And you don't want to under hit this ball, right? Because you want that on top of the angle. See, now he's kind of straight, so gonna have to Well, you know what? He actually ended up pretty
I mean,
good
even
on
a
that.
stop shot here is pretty much a
Yeah.
game winner. This is the key
Just-
shot right here.
He got off the rail enough. Absolutely.
To dig under it.
Yeah, because if you're anywhere closer to that rail, you kind of start flirting with having to only have the top part of the ball available. Now he's got a couple options. He can even roll this ball.
I like how he
in.
got back up there. He didn't look like he was positioned properly, and he got back up.
Big stroke.
That's all you really need. Just
Played it good.
keep it over there. Dealer's choice now. I mean, you can draw out of it, which is probably what I'd do. I mean, even if you think about it, all you need is a couple inches of draw here.
Yeah, it depends on how straight I am. Because if I feel like I'm floating too close up to that 10 ball, I'm playing forward.
Yeah. A lot of people like forward. It's a little more controllable.
I think I like the draw as long as I feel like I'm straight enough to where that 10 ball doesn't come into play.
I mean, even if you like steroided this and drew it all the way back to the rail, you still got it.
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, missed the side, got close to the 8.
Yeah.
I think he didn't do that on accident. Like if I was nervous, I've got a tendency to sometimes use a little more power.
Yeah.
And then the next shot, I'm like, okay, I used too much power, and then I underhit the next one.
Yeah.
And you're going back and forth until you find that don't overthink it zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think with that power draw, it's one of those things where you don't have to overthink it.
He played that well.
Yeah.
That was a break and run.
Was it? Nice.
I do
Very
believe
nice.
he broke and ran. Randy's been sitting in his chair watching 3 games go by.
Yeah. What that was a great out. And
Yeah.
like you said, that was the first break we've seen where you felt like both players had a strong chance of getting out on their first visit to the table. And there you see it. Marshall was able to pull it off and takes his first lead, I believe. Or is it 6-4? He's not on the hill, is he?
No. I think he marked the point before
He was
he sat.
excited to mark that one.
I mean, wouldn't you be?
No doubt. Take my first lead of the match off a break and run. That I hit a beautiful break on. Let's see how he gets this one to split. There you see. So he scooted. I think he's about where he started the beginning of the match, I think.
He just adjusted his aim slightly to the left. Watch if he does it again. The cue ball should go to the left, not the right. And he
Yeah,
did it
there
again.
you
Now
go.
he's hitting it even better.
He
He's
hit
got
it
the pop
square.
break.
But does he? It looks like he didn't get anything to go.
Oh.
So as good as he's hitting them, right? He's still not
Opportunity.
getting any results. And this is a fairly decent spread as well for stripes. I mean, you got the 3 ball a little clustered up. 5 ball goes by the 15 to play short side for the 3 up in the bottom left. So if you liked solids, which I don't necessarily love solids, you could play them, but yeah, I think this is the better of the two. Just being careful what happens to this 11. He played it pretty good. But I think I would have drew out of that one a little bit. Just so maybe I have the 12 if I don't come away with a shot on the 11. Is he going to back cut this ball? Look at this.
He's feeling it now, just going for it.
And comes away with something on the 15, I think. Or maybe the 10 past. I don't know. I don't know what he's got here.
I don't mind leaving the 15 there as a backup plan because you move that and Marshall has the out.
Well, if anything, I would just try cutting it in, right?
Yep, and hopefully leaving it there, yeah.
But that didn't turn out too bad. I guess it was and I saw that option. I just didn't think it went. I really didn't think it had a chance. And so here's what I was saying though earlier. See that 5 goes. That 5 goes by the 15. It looks like, and offers short side to the 3 all the way down. So that's really your best solution to get rid of that 3. You might want to be a little straighter on that 5 to kind of guarantee shape, but you can kind of get there now if you wanted to, right? It's a real touchy shot, but very doable. And you also don't have to do it right now. So you can, I was going to say, you can work the angles from the
I'll be
6.
honest. I like the 5 first, though, because that would move that 3. You're going to be kicking yourself later if you don't get it.
No, see, yeah, there's definitely plenty of options, I feel like. So this
Well, let's see. Yeah, okay.
This
So
leads perfectly to the 3 as well.
I just like shorter shots, so I don't mind bumping things out if I have options A, B, C, and D, you know. But people play differently.
Yeah, I don't like moving balls if I don't have to, or
It's a
feel
good
like
point.
I also don't like slow rolling balls if I feel that needs to stop. Ooh, I don't think you can shoot it unless they're wired.
Yeah, if they're wired, maybe a little bit of a shove.
That's the only thing. You don't really want to play a shove if they're wired, and you might have to. You know, you might have to. If they're not touching, you can get a double hit.
We'll see what they come up with. It looks like he's looking at it like they're not frozen.
Yeah.
Because if they were frozen, he would be able to just kind of push through this a little bit.
Right. Maybe with a little bit of low or something.
Right.
You know?
Hopefully hold it there. It's a tricky shot, but it's a weird rule. You know, when the balls are frozen, the whole double hit thing kind of slides out the window, allows for a little bit more of a weird hit.
Yeah, so this becomes really weird because that 3 ball wants to shove, like you said, over towards the 9. And he got it through, but see, it still ended up going that way just because of the way that the ball throws when they're that close.
There's a little bit of a physics in play there.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of rolls it.
Absolutely.
You know, you think you can cut it, but it doesn't cut. It goes the wrong way.
Exactly that. So always kind of a weird shot. That was always tough. I would say a little bit unfortunate.
Well, it's a good opportunity for Randy here. I mean, tie it up maybe.
Definitely need to tie the match here again. So he's got to worry about that 10 ball and shape to that 10 ball. I would just really focus on picking a pattern to get to that 10 and getting out of this rack. You need to get out of this rack.
It's not an easy rack. That 8's not super friendly either.
Exactly, and that's why I feel like, you know, to give himself a good shot to winning this match, you need to get out here, right? You're going to build a lot of confidence, knowing that it's not necessarily a straightforward, easy out. And I think that will help him later in the match, you know, going for the runouts when he should and getting out when he's supposed to. And that's going to give him the best opportunity to win. Here you go. You play a stop shot on the 15, hopefully achieve the angle to get the 12 inside and float down towards the 1 for short side on the 10. And then just roll forward for the 14 in the side. And Bob's your uncle.
Not mine. I don't have an uncle named Bob.
Well, if he gets out of this rack, you might have one that you don't know about.
It's tough, man. I mean, with the 8, the 10 percentages, not looking good. Which I feel like Randy's been stuck in this rut. You know, where he's making his balls but doesn't really have the out. And I know you're saying you have to get out, but like the 10 and the 8, very difficult.
Yeah, the only thing is that you don't have any insurance. The solids look
right.
so nice.
You got to go for it.
You got it. You have no option. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of a weird place to be every game, where you're always having to go for it.
But see, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yep, got a nice friendly bump on the 1.
And now this is beautiful angle to, again, float to the middle of the table. If that 8 ball doesn't go by the 3, then you really got to think about where you want to end up on the 14. But if it does go by the 3, you don't got too much to worry about. I think you can be real aggressive and like you don't really have to worry about shape.
This is a 14. He's looking 14 in the side. Probably doesn't like it in the corner. Maybe the 5's blocking it. So, yeah, you got to float up.
Yeah.
And then the 8 does not go in the bottom left.
If it doesn't, then he's really got to get close to that end rail here. The ball's got to go. So now he's got to play, 3
This might
rails.
work.
3 rails around. Yeah, you might be coming right at the 8 ball.
Or maybe he'll come around and get behind it.
That would probably be better. You would probably prefer that.
I wouldn't mind that.
But really, looking at it, it might be coming around.
This is an exciting
almost
shot right here.
Yeah, this is a big one.
I love shooting these too. You never know what's going to happen.
And does he get through?
He got the bump.
Oh, he got there. What a shot.
Unbelievable.
And he's got a nice look at the 8 here on the side.
What a great shot.
Absolutely. And if he
You said it.
If he can convert here, right? This is big. This is big for him.
Well, take a deep breath, walk around the table, whatever it takes. I mean,
Get yourself
just
comfortable.
roll this 8 in the side and mark your point.
Yeah.
Looks like he's digging on it a little bit. I wouldn't have done that.
And that was big. That was
Yeah.
big.
I think the draw that he chose to put on that made the shot a little trickier.
He gets fortunate with the roll, right?
Yeah, I didn't think there was a scratch, so just roll it in.
Well, what I'm saying is where the 8 ball ended up.
Oh, yeah, blocking. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. When I miss like that, I'm usually like, that's it. So, yeah.
Don't even look at the table.
Let me look further. I guess there is an opportunity here that he will get back up.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless he can float this 4. Like, I went a little too far for that now.
Yeah, no. I feel like you also want to clear the 3 first to play the 5 in that corner by the 3.
See, but my shot would be get an angle on the 4 so I can just roll forward and shoot the 5 in the upper right. I think he has that now. I'm just saying because it's hard to play short side on the 5 from the 3.
Yeah.
And now I think he's got the perfect angle where he can maybe overshot it a little bit. I can't tell.
You can.
No, he's good. Look at the table. That's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Just roll it forward. I mean, it's not as much as he'd like, but he's still got it.
And you got to be real pinpoint or you end up really, because you're going to.
Well, what are you thinking? Play a safe then?
No.
I mean, you could play a safe and buy yourself another shot.
No, I'm taking the 3 and putting the cue ball exactly back where it is, right? And then you can run into the 8.
Sure.
That way if you overplay it, you're
Right.
always going to have the 5 in the side. You're going to have the 5 by
I'm not
the
afraid
3.
of the 5, but I get it. It's probably higher percentage to just
Put the
just
cue
roll
ball
with it.
almost exactly where it's back. See, now either side of that 5 works, right? Because if you run into the 8, you're fine.
he played a safe.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But you were right, though, because I even still see the short side shot from here.
Exactly.
I think Marshall played it great. And
he had a chance to get out right there, really.
maybe this is his way of saying, I don't want to trust getting, like, what can
Perfect.
happen.
Yeah.
You overrun the 5, you freeze up on it, and then next thing you know, you're selling out. So
Right.
this almost guarantees he's getting back up to the table. Not a bad shot.
Well, let's see. You always got this hope that he doesn't kick this in.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the percentage is? I mean, I'd say it's less than 10% on getting out here. I mean, unless you're Efren.
Yeah, I would probably say around that.
I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but this is a hard shot.
Right. But
You got to hit it perfect.
What are the percentages that he completely sells out the rack? Also, that's not
True. If he gets
super
a hit
high.
and doesn't foul, there's a chance that Marshall will have a tough shot.
Well, you got to get the hit.
He was going for it. He wasn't thinking two-way. He was going for it.
Right, 100%.
So that gives Marshall ball in hand. He's going to
Yeah.
shoot
I
the
like
5
this
in the
position.
side.
Yep. Play the 4 in the bottom left corner. Yep, this is correct.
Roll forward, stop shot on the 4. Boom, boom.
And so really it paid off, that safety decision.
Really did.
Yeah.
Something sometimes we don't think about enough is that maybe we should play a safety once in a while.
Right, well.
Instead of trying to play Shane Van Boning,
Ouch.
precise, cue ball control. And then being like confused on why it didn't work. You know?
Yeah, but I'm just one of those people who if I have the opportunity and I don't go for it and I lose, I'll kick myself, right?
My goodness.
If I have the opportunity, I don't go for it. I'll say, hey, I should have went for it because I had an I know I could have pulled it off if everything falls into place correctly. Like I know that I can.
Right.
And
I'm
if
with
you
you.
let those go and you lose, then you'll always be kicking yourself. If you go for them, you'll at least know that you went for the win. Right.
I'm with you on that, but I think sometimes playing safe will buy you more wins than being mad at the one time they played some amazing 3-reel shot and got out on you.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I mean, it's hard to do that. That's how you go from a 500, 400 to 600 or 550 plus.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and knowing when, because sometimes, like you said, those do end up in your fortune. But once you're starting to get up to that 600, you really have less and less to give them, less and less opportunities to give them.
Right.
And you got to know that they're not going to give you those opportunities either.
No, a 600 player is going to play an early safe. They're not going to make 3 balls, then play a safe.
Yeah.
And that's the difference in the game.
Yep.
I brought this up many times before, but I talked to John once, and I said, well, how do you explain that? And he goes, I don't play that hope stuff. Right. He didn't say stuff. But what that means is if the percentage isn't 95, 98%, he doesn't play it.
Right.
He doesn't go for, it's going to go through rails, maybe bump it, and maybe I'll have a shot like we do. Or I'll say I don't want to speak for you, but.
No, absolutely.
Sometimes you get the color and money theme, in your head, and you're like, I'm going to bank all these and run out and get the breakup on my. No, it doesn't work.
Yep.
It rarely does work.
All right. Got Marshall breaking on the hill. This will be his last break in the match. Looks like is he going to get that 2 to go? Yeah, it fell.
2's down. Table's open.
Pretty looking table. Good snap there. Good snap.
Stripes are looking nice. Solids can work.
Yeah.
If you figure out the 4-5.
Right, the 4 goes in the side if you want it. You can get there right now using the 3. Obviously, the 6, 7 go on the side. The 1 ball has a pocket. I don't mind the solids here. The 11's tough to play shape for.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to shooting what I guess would be maybe the 3 first. Unless he's.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then just get in position on either the 4 or the 5.
Yeah, you got to get shape on the 4. I think that 5 might go between the 12, 8.
And he said, you know what? I don't want to deal with all that mess. I'm taking stripes.
Yep, so now he's got to play pretty good on the 11, right? I don't mind the decision at all, actually, obviously. But you just got to worry about getting shape to the 11. The rest of the stripes actually look really, really nice.
But you're 100% right. You want to get that 12 out of there, maybe the 11
Watch
early.
outside pocket.
Oh, man, I bet you Randy was like just praying, praying that that went in the side pocket.
And really, I think he's stuck out off that point enough to shoot the 9 if he wants to.
Yeah, you could shoot the 9, stun it back for the 11, 12. I mean, he's got a lot of options here.
Well, the 5 ball kind of sits funny for that.
But, I mean, if you overhit it, you still got the 15. You still got the 14.
Yep.
Ooh, rattled it.
Oh, and he played that super good for the 12, too. He probably could have got to the 11 off of the 12 right there.
So cheating the pocket, most likely to try to get the cue ball where he wanted. Most of us out there know how you can cheat a pocket a little to the left, a little to the right, and really control where you're going with it. Now that pockets are getting towards 4 inches, it's getting a little tougher to do that. But, if anybody's playing on a valley, I mean, you could cheat to get left or right, anywhere.
Oh, man. Yeah, if you're playing on a valley, you can really do some stuff with that cue ball if you need to.
Yep,
and really, you don't even have to spin it to do so. You just play to the other side of the pocket.
You can do so much with just a little bit of a stun shot and cheating the pocket.
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, so many angles that you can come off and still make that ball. It's
the only thing is with a valley, you never know how the rail's going to respond. So
correct.
It's still like gambling. Every shot, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't even know if that cue ball's rolling straight.
Yeah, that is 100%. Which is why a lot of people learn to hit everything hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it's because of, the old tables.
Straight stuns. All stun shots.
You notice a lot of the pros now, they've been brought up on these perfect tables that, like Fedor Gorst has such a dainty stroke, but it's so powerful. I don't know if that sounds disrespectful, but he doesn't ever really have to hit anything super hard like Earl Strickland and Efren and Johnny used to have to do on the 9-footers to get the ball around 3 rails.
Yeah.
Everything's just kind of a tap, stun. Ooh, bad.
Well, I think it plays with a much more consistent stroke. If you really watch the best players in the world in person, it looks like they never put a different stroke on the ball.
Right.
It looks like they put the same power with the same amount of, spin for almost every shot, whether the cue ball needs to go half a foot or 4 feet. And it's hard to pick that up if you're not watching it in person, I'll tell you what.
Right.
Because you think, well, the cue ball is acting so differently, but when you see what kind of stroke they put on it every time, you're like, it doesn't change a whole lot.
No, you're absolutely right.
Tip placement changes a lot, and
they do a lot more stun run-throughs. They stun off rails. They're not. It's very rare that you see a pro just roll a ball in.
Yeah.
If ever.
Right.
Unless they're
the shot the shot really calls for it.
Sure, but I've even seen where a guy could slow roll a ball and roll up 2 inches, and a guy will do a stun run through,
right?
Which is like 100 times harder, but that's what they do.
That's the same stroke that they put on the last 6 balls.
Yeah,
the same exact stroke.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
But my point is that it's a lesser strength stroke than what they used to have in the 80s and 90s.
Yep, you can do everything you need with the same stroke. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to muscle it 3 rails. The table plays so true that
I'm sure they still can.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, I've even watched like Tyler Starr shoot the Mighty X.
Yeah,
and you think, man, to draw the ball to the pocket, you got to hit it so hard. No, he's delicately hitting the ball, and it's going either forward, stopping, or drawing back.
Yep.
And a lot of that strength is misleading.
Right.
Ooh.
And one testament is how the equipment plays.
Well, that is not looking good for Randy right now. Marshall has a full table, balls in pockets. 8-ball goes everywhere.
Yep.
This might be it.
I still think, if he can get the 11 down, I think he'll get out. Which is not much of a problem anymore, right? You just got to kind of pick a pattern that you feel comfortable with it. But
I don't mind trying it now after the 12 here.
Yeah.
See if you stun back enough, and if you overdo it, shoot the 15 in the side.
Yep, or then you're always going to have options, but
that's what he kind of overhit it though.
You see what he does. He's still got so many options.
I know, but this opens up a little door for Randy.
I still think you got to take the 11 and just hit a draw. Even if you come into the 5, you're okay. If you don't, then you got the 9 and you play 2 rails around back to the middle where you can shoot the 15 or the 14.
He's a little frustrated. I get it. I mean, you had the table, and then you did that, and now it's complicated. Happens to all of us. I mean, pool is such a tough game. So
This is the
Supkiss says,
shot.
I'm the only one to hit the like icon. That's a good point, Supkiss. Please get out there, subscribe, hit the like, become a member if you'd like. Helps the juniors.
Let us know what you think of that gray cloth.
Yeah. How do you like the gray cloth? Is it easier to see?
I love it. I personally love it.
I'm surprised we haven't done it sooner, like as a community.
Yeah.
Like we went from green to red to black to blue, different blues. There's the key shot. 3 ball stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, see, that was a great shot. Now he can play the combo if he needs to, or draw off this 9.
The one thing that it did do, though, was close one pocket for the 8.
Yeah.
Whether or not it matters,
Well,
could have been worse.
I think that 8 might still squeeze by the 3. If you need
It's
it
possible.
to go. Yeah, if you need to go, I think you can still do it. And I think you just draw off this 9 all the way down the rail okay, so watch hitting this one full. You got to cut this 9. You got to really cut this 14. He hit it good.
Ooh, blast the 8 out. Man, that's a
Where-
little risky.
And
Tied up the 15.
kind of tied the 15 up.
So, Marshall, if you watch this later, different options.
No, I don't think that 15 goes in either of those side pockets. It might not even go between the 5-8 and the bottom right.
If it goes in the side, that's still tough because you got to go 1, 2, 3 rails back and forth like a Z bank cue ball control just to get on it. Let's see what he's got planned here. He tried it, but it didn't go. Does the 15 go in the corner? He's looking like it does.
If it doesn't, it goes off the 5 into the corner.
This might be an opportunity here for Randy. We'll see what happens. I guarantee Randy would love one more chance at the table.
I think this has got to go off the 5.
Wow. It might have gone.
I don't know. It didn't really threaten the pocket that much.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it looks like he had a lot to go there before it hit the 8 even. But whatever the case may be, Randy is up and most likely shooting the 3.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
You either come down for the 4, which is a delicate stroke, or you just slide back down for the 5 and shoot the 4 later.
Yeah, come up under both.
See,
of
he's
these
trying it.
balls.
He's putting left on it. Yep. That was probably a mistake
Well,
in my mind.
he ended up pretty good, right?
It worked out for both, you know?
Now he can play both balls here. If he's uncomfortable with the 4, he can punch the 5 in and kind of drift up. Watch out rolling forward. Oh, he hit that sweet.
He hit it good. Little body English, but it went in straight.
Yeah, and that was a big shot. That was a big shot. If you miss that one, it's almost feeling like it's game over. But now you gin that ball and should have automatic shape to the 8. Keep your tournament alive.
Kind of a 50-yard line.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit more than you would like.
So now you got to draw.
I still think you play this in the side. I don't think there's too much. I don't think there's a scratch at all if you play it.
I like taking it in the upper left corner there with just a little bit of a draw to.
So does he.
Yeah, I mean, then you kind of come off the bottom left rail, maybe first diamond from the middle. Yeah,
He
just
hit
like
it
that.
good. Wow, he hit that sweet.
He's still alive.
Yeah, with the pressure on, he buries the 8. He hit that real nice.
5-6, Marshall. Got to be kicking yourself now. We've switched seats. Marshall's now wondering why. How did I not get out there?
Yep. He had a pretty good looking table.
It was all about that 15 getting bumped into the 8-5 cluster, and yeah, open the door for Randy.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Marshall, but obviously Randy took advantage of it and stays alive. You know, he's still shooting. we got a good match here. I would love to see Hill.
Yep. Subka says Randy lives to fight another day. Fantastic.
Yeah, I really want to see a Hill. Both these guys are playing pretty good. I just love when they're this evenly matched. We find a Hill, really see what they're made of. It obviously makes it super fun to watch.
So everybody's saying the gray cloth is easier on the eyes. I've heard that from a couple
is,
people, including
yeah.
David and I believe Supkiss.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's probably easier to tell the balls apart. You
Yeah,
know?
these aren't the TV balls either.
Right, and it's still easier to tell the 4 and the 2. I think the 2 really pops now, and the 8 balls. You know,
can see the purple.
Yeah, the purple pops, the blue pops. The 8 ball kind of stays dark with the gray. I just think it works so much better. He got 2 to fall there, and this is the break he's been looking for. Now
114.
15-5.
Yeah.
6-12-2.
Lot going on.
Where do you start if you like stripes? Right? It looks like he's got to look at that 13. If you like the stripes, which I do.
You know, I don't know. I kind of prefer the solids, but only because I know I'm not running out.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all either, especially because you can start with the 4 and try to deal with the 6-2
Start
right away.
simple, right? Maybe play a safe if you have to. Get the 1 out. Maybe let your opponent break the 2-6 out.
That 6 might go in the side pocket too, right? You just float this 4 in.
Or all the way down past the 8.
Yeah.
A little tricky to tell, but I do think it does go. It's a little further away. Maybe not.
From here, I think you might be able to see enough of it to get in the side. Right, and then starting with the 4 obviously is a really good ball because you can do a lot of things with the cue ball there if you need to. But, you know, that fly ball doesn't go. Tough to break that one out. The 1 ball is obviously taken by the 14. Now you can bank the 1 ball cross side. There's a lot of good positions to land on in order to do that. But you also have to trust your bank shots. So I think I like this decision. I think that's the correct decision there. Now you got some options here, right? And really, if you can get into that 12 from the backside, like running into the 6 or the 2, it'll really pop that 12 out. I don't see a good path towards that, but I also feel like it's going to be pretty difficult to deal with that 2-6s solids as well. So I think I would just play patient if I'm here in Randy's shoes. Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, it hasn't really worked out for him running his balls down and then letting Marshall have at it. I mean, then you're just testing fate.
Right. It's just so hard to call safety in these kinds of situations.
Do you take the combo here because you know you got the 12 tied up?
I'm
not saying it's a high
so.
percentage shot, but, I mean, you got to get all that crap out of there. Okay, so they're out. 1 ball's fine.
Really,
right.
that 9 ball ended up in a really good spot for Randy, too.
Yeah, it might be a good breakout ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you got the 10-14 to really get the angle you want on that 9 to get into that cluster.
So stay tuned, everyone. After this match, we got MH raring to go with James Baumgarten. I'll have to look at the flyer. I know I'm probably...
Yeah.
I've seen him a bunch. He's played here before. Really nice guy. I think that is going to be a match. MH is going to have to stay focused to pull a second week off.
Yep, and just like Marshall's going to have to stay focused here, I think he's got an opportunity. Right? Because really, this 3-ball lays pretty good for the breakout.
You can go for it. You know,
and if you miss
put a
it,
little left on it and make it.
Absolutely.
See what happens.
I think if you miss it, you're still getting a shot.
Oh, he went right into it.
He
Okay.
hit it beautiful. But again, right, so now you're always kind of gambling whether or not you're going to get a shot.
Right.
But he does have a shot here on the 5.
It's what we call that hope stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was hoping, and now it's broke up.
Right.
Now, if you were playing a Masters match right now, you lost.
No, all right, you can get out from here.
You can get out from here or play it safe, but, I mean, on the rail, 5-ball, that's a nervy shot.
No doubt. No doubt.
I'm just being like within my skill range, I'd be a little nervous to shoot this and not be selling out.
And your cue ball is kind of tracking towards that 8-ball, right? Where you're kind of worried about the scratch in the side. And if you run into that 8, that's not very good, too. You might block yourself on the 4.
Oh, just like you said.
Yeah, you're
Look at that.
completely hooked.
I mean, he made a great shot. I mean, honestly, that
You got to put some pace on that ball.
Yeah,
though.
you got to be, just move the 8 out of there if you have to.
And then hopefully you come away with a cut on the 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Hope now times 2 now leads to this. That was one of the biggest lessons I got, which wasn't even a lesson, but I picked up on my own.
Mm-hmm.
That forced me to play a little more strategic.
He's got a pretty good kick here, though. If you can get all the way under that 4-ball and kick that 4-ball up towards maybe...
You're not selling out.
Yeah, you're not. Exactly. Maybe kick that 4 towards the side, even if you can get nice and under it, right?
The key here is not to overhit this, right? Because a lot of people put their strength into this shot, and then
I think
there
it's
goes
pretty-
the 2-way.
I think it's pretty tough to overhit this. Really, I think the worst it happens is you can scratch.
Ooh. Oh, I don't know if that tied up just nicely.
Oh, it definitely did.
Wow.
You can't see the 10, I don't think.
Good things happen when you get a hit.
I don't think you can cut the 10 here, and that's real fortunate.
It does not look like it from these views.
Yeah, no way.
Take a look at the side, maybe. He's going for it.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
He's definitely. It's questionable. It's questionable, no doubt. I don't even like kicking at it, right? If you don't have to. If anything, I think I would play the other direction.
It's tough to get the ball out of there without putting a lot of right on it, too. All right.
Oh, he got it. What a shot.
And he's got options.
Beautiful shape. Wow, what a shot.
Nice shot to Randy there.
And that 12 is going to go by the 1, so he can play short side for the 14 here. Roll the 14 in, and he'll have shape on the 12.
And the only thing you got to worry about is a real long shot on the 8, but it's not on the rail. Totally makeable.
Right.
No scratch. I might be jumping the gun, but I like to look at all of it. I've got faith in Randy getting down to it.
Yep. It's kind of another one of those situations where you feel like you've kind of got to go.
And now you definitely,
And
there's no more hope.
Right. And, well, actually it's pretty tough to sell out because that 6-2-1 is not laying in the best of positions.
I see, yeah. So now you almost have to. Man, this game that we love.
Well, yeah, you're not paying a whole lot to miss this shot. Really.
Exactly. I like the way you put that because, I mean, there is kind of a 2-way built into this, and you might even want to play the safe.
Right, just down by the 8-ball or something.
Yeah, I mean, because then all you're giving them is combos and
Or some cut on the 4.
yeah, which is tough. Even if he makes the 4, who knows if he's going to get on the 2-1? Yeah. What a weird position to be in after being like completely resolved of any issue after the shot
Yeah,
after that. It's like
right.
every other shot is like a roller coaster here.
Yeah, that's not straightforward like you would expect it to be.
Yeah, Supka's saying run down the rail, but I mean, you know how hard you got to,
See, he's just going to play here.
Yeah, this is a smart shot. Obviously, I think he wanted more.
No, that's perfect.
It's fine, but
That's perfect. Because
I want to be locked up on the 8.
No, because then if you don't get there, you give
I
up
know.
a fairly easy
Give
cut
him
on
a
the
better
4.
cut, right?
Here, yeah, you doubled them just enough to play where he's got to play the 2-1 or play a super thin cut on the 4.
Well, and you got to know your limitations. I mean, like we said earlier, we're not pros. We're not locking balls up on another ball
Absolutely.
from full table.
If you get somewhat of the same effect by playing such an easy shot,
Right.
in this case, I think it's much better.
No, that was a good choice by Randy to, give it one more shot and see what happens here.
Let's see. You got to be calling this, right?
Drills it.
Wow.
Drills it.
The set ball, it needed to sit.
I like it.
He's thin.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I can dig. See, like when I'm that close, I can dig with a little bottom left and control this.
Yep, exactly. Very well said. When you are nice and close to this ball, cue ball control becomes so much easier.
He's not happy, but even if you go back and forth, you're probably going to get the 2 ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you got to do, right? Double check your good area you can land in.
Just make the ball and play like a half a leg shot.
Yeah. Take what you can get. Even the 2 to the 6, though, can get pretty tough.
With the 14 where it's at, kind of removes that 3 rail, all the stuff.
Right. Well, it's just a ball that you underhit a lot, coming around 3 rails with inside spin.
See what we got here.
Speed, a big thing.
There we go.
I think he hit it pretty good. Wow. I think that's almost perfect. If it's not, it's really close to I think he hit it perfect, though. I think he got as much angle as he could and still see the 2 ball comfortably to come around 3 rails.
The only challenge here, I don't know. He's too sharp for the 3 rail with top.
I don't think so.
I mean, when you try to force that, you end up in the corner pocket with the cue ball.
He's going
for it. Let's see if he can. You got to put a stroke on this. Okay, he made it past it.
Jeez, he ended up behind the 8. This is super unfortunate.
Oh, no. Like 1 ball away from being perfect.
Yeah, and that's one of those shots where, like I said, a lot of the times you come up short.
He hit that great, though.
I think he just overstroked it.
But, I mean, the ability to be that sharp
Mm-hmm.
and put maximum right English on that to come off those rails, I mean, that was a great attempt there by Marshall.
Yeah.
Got to give it where it's due.
Definitely not one of those where you feel like you overhit that one very often.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is true. And a lot of times, because of the deflection, you overcut those.
Yeah. And rattle them out.
Yeah. So, one more jump shot. Let's see how this goes. So, is he going to be blocking the shot?
I think this one's pretty makeable, too.
Or we'll give you this view.
A lot of good things.
Oh, no. Second jump, second ball off the table. He's not happy. Very frustrated with that shot. Giving Randy ball in hand with the ability to possibly tie this match up.
Absolutely.
Now, we've said this before, and I've noticed this before, but Randy does prefer follow.
Yeah.
He'll take the longer shot to get position.
Yeah, I disagree with this one.
Every once in a while, I guess I understand it, but if you put follow on this and you don't hit it right, you could hit this thick.
Yeah, and this point is just huge. This point sticks out. Now, see,
just a natural roll.
Yeah, he hit it. Obviously, he's comfortable with that shot, so I think he's going to hit that one pretty well.
Exactly. You could tell that's a shot he would prefer to take over trying to draw out of it, or
or even stun off the rail, right?
Experience. Didn't go for perfect position, but he got himself a nice, straight, makeable shot with room to bridge.
This is for Hill folks. What we all been asking for.
Oh! How did that go in?
That's the new rails for you, Chris.
This is like watching a matchroom event. They're on 4-inch pockets, but they can hit the third diamond and everything
Yeah.
still goes in.
Exactly. Oh man, you love. And yeah, I think I definitely know that
he must
you
have
thought
some
he missed it.
Yeah,
when he
dude,
hit
I was
it.
100%. Look at this. Was there some spin?
No, it's just they slides off the rail. See, it literally slides. It
yeah.
doesn't.
It doesn't grab, yeah.
No grab at
until
all.
I give it 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and these rails will grab.
Yep, that's not going in 2 weeks. I'll tell you that much.
And again, I thought it was gonna hang. So
You gotta love it.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
amazing.
love it.
That's. I mean, we're hill.
Yep. Here we go.
And
Yeah.
we got MH and James waiting to play. We're gonna start that match a little later, and we are gonna restart the stream. We're going with it because lately everybody's been wanting to have their own video, And honestly, if you guys don't show up for the live, it's the people that watch it afterwards that count too. So even if we only have 12 viewers,
Yeah.
I mean, it gets up there 2, 3, 4, sometimes 1,000 views after.
Right. Anything we can do to make it easier for the majority.
Well, I mean, I get it. MH is like, I want to share this to my friends in England, but it's broken up into 4 parts and I can't find it.
Yeah. Right. All right. So this is probably Randy's best break of the match, and it couldn't have come at a better time, right?
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say anything about one way or another until the 8 ball's in. We're going to let this one ride.
You got to take stripes here, I think. Right? How do you deal with the 7?
The only ball you don't take is the 8.
Usually.
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it.
Well, thanks. We appreciate your insight.
Well, yeah, I always try to, throw in that Jeremy Jones level knowledge, here and there.
You got it. But I think I got to go with the stripes. Just the 7 ball is not very, very pleasant to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, if I was down there shooting, I'm looking at stripes. Probably start with the 15 if I can use check side, come back out. But I mean, the 11's fine too.
Yep, I was going to say.
You could even do the 14. I mean, honestly, he's got 3, 4 good options
here.
here.
The 12 looks good too, right?
Well, the 12 would be the only one that would be like, ooh, if I don't cut this perfect, I might miss.
Yeah. But they all lead to each other as far as the stripes.
Right. I mean, just keep coming back to the center of the table, and you're not going to have too many issues. And the 8 goes. So I respect that Randy's walking around the table. He's looking at his options. He's not nervously trying to speed this last game because you don't want to make a mistake.
You want to be sure.
Right.
And really, this one shot, right? I think this one shot, you need to be more sure than the rest of them because if this one works out how you plan, you just follow according. You don't
kind of jacked up for a check side shot.
Okay, well, he ended up jacked up.
Yeah.
That 12, it looks like he's got enough room to shoot that 12 pretty comfortably, though. If you check the overhead, he's got.
Yeah, you're right. The overhead
an inch.
says everything. I think I would pop that in.
Mm-hmm.
Just a touch draw.
Yeah.
Bail yourself out here.
Absolutely.
I don't think I'd expect too much. Just give yourself a shot on the 14.
Yeah.
Without being hindered by the 3 or something. You're good to go.
And if you're shooting anything but the 12 right now, you're jacked up, right? See, I don't like this.
Yeah, I mean,
This
we're
is
not on the
difficult.
table, so the 12 might be a little harder than we're assuming.
This is difficult.
Well, he knows he has the 7 ball still, right?
Yeah.
So is that in the back of his head?
Absolutely. I
You know,
think
just
so.
let it ride until that 7's out there and then panic?
Yeah, and he doesn't leave anything else on the table as far as
Yeah, I mean,
You
why
know,
run
look.
the table and
But-
make it easy on yourself?
look at what look at what Marshall's going to do though. You got to make this 10 ball, right? And just block the 9.
Yeah, and stop it right back there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, this is going to backfire for him. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a shot.
I mean, we've all been in these positions, and it's mentally stressful.
There you go. What do you sell out here? Nothing. That was
Yeah.
a beautiful shot.
That's
that was
perfect.
That was the correct move.
And he's blocking the 9 now.
He blocked everything.
Right. Doesn't, well, of course, but he's got a backup plan.
It was a beautiful shot. This is very hard to get out of if you're Randy.
Yeah, what are you kicking at the 14?
Right?
I mean, you could play a little bit of a safe off the 9, but I mean, it's so hard to be perfect.
Like a ticky off the 9 and then put it behind the 13.
I mean, it's tricky.
Or ticky off the 9 and put it on the other side of the 9, but then you might leave like the 5 or the 3 leaks out pretty easily in that situation. So really good touch from Marshall on the last shot. You know, he takes the pocket back from the 9 if Randy somehow does escape this.
Oh, this is a huge lesson for our level players. I mean, you know, you feel like you're in control, and then really what you did was sell out, and you didn't even know it.
Yes.
Now, anything can happen, right? I'm not saying that this is over by any means, but
quite the advantage.
Quite the advantage Marshall has right now. When Randy had the table run well within grasp.
Yeah. Yep.
Easy to say from the seat. Let me just throw my fine print in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys should know that by now.
And I think both players are making good decisions for them, right? I think when the situation does come up where they're kind of on the 50-50 or, you know, what should I do?
Right.
I think they're making really sound decisions for their game.
Especially near the end of the match.
Yeah, nobody's trying to stretch their talent or their skill. They're letting their decision making kind of dictate how the match goes.
All right. Move some things around. Not too bad. Does the 3 go? I think it does.
If it doesn't, I think you got to look at the 5 too. You know, nice thin cut off the 5 where you don't even scratch in the bottom corner because you have to hit the 5 that thin. But if not, I like the 3, obviously. If it goes, it looks like it goes.
Take a peek at it from this view until he blocks it with his head.
Right.
We're going to let it ride, though. I don't want to get you guys motion sickness. Oh, it went and some. Isn't that how it always goes?
Yep.
When it's tight, you almost push it too far towards that blocking ball.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, here we go, Randy.
Again, so now that Marshall made that problem with the 9 ball using the 7, that's what you got to worry about in Randy's shoes right here.
Well, let's talk about this. We haven't done this yet. Key ball, I'm thinking 12. Last ball before the 8.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that because of the 3. And you don't want to try to go 3 rails and play perfect position when you're a little nervous for the match.
Right.
The 12 is a great ball to roll forward on and easily set up shape for the 8.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you can even play like 11, 12 for your last 2.
So the next problem is, what do you do with the 9?
The 9. I think I got to play short side for the 9 right now off the 14 or the 13, right? Both of these angles lead pretty well to the 9 short side.
Yeah, but it's whether or not you like inside or outside English.
He liked inside. Well,
the 7 will be gone now.
Yeah.
So that won't be a problem.
Well,
see, inside, is one of those techniques that I don't know if people pick those things up right away. I think inside English is the last thing you learn.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because I've always used running, I've always used draw, I've always used follow, but I always stayed away from inside because it was always like you get cling, it changes the deflection, it always makes everything overcut, and you get a little scared.
Yeah.
But as you play and as you progress, inside becomes more useful.
I'll tell you what, one thing that might help a lot of people is yes, they are scared of the inside, and what happens a lot of times, I think they they let up on their stroke when they play
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, and
So-
almost shove the ball.
The next time you practice inside, let your stroke out a little more because you got to trust that deflection and that spin coming back towards your object ball.
Right.
You got to trust it. But if you learn to trust it,
Well, you know the pros don't have a lot of spin back. They adjust for the deflection and they hit everything
Right.
to a speed that doesn't allow for squirt and deflection and all that stuff to come into play. The harder you hit the ball, the less swerve you're going to have back into the line. So you basically have to use inside and hit the ball thicker. You have to aim the ball thicker because the inside's going to throw the cue ball away from the shot.
yeah.
Now, I don't know if that makes any sense, but set the balls up someday and play with them, and you'll see what I mean.
And again, if practicing with that inside spin shot, it's like you said, it's a little more timid shot. It's not a natural shot.
It's a higher level shot.
A lot
I
of people, I just feel like, tend to let up on their stroke when they
100%.
So practice. If you practice getting through that cue ball with the inside and not being so timid through it, you'll see how it works out a little better.
So my only closing to that is if he shot the 14 in the side, it would have been more of a natural cue ball, which might be easier for some.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with.
All right. A little tricky now.
Yeah, you still got a window to make that 3. I think you play to the 3 next, right? You got to play
I think I'm playing a safe.
1.
I know. It
I'm
sounds
playing
crazy.
1. He won't play a safe.
No, I mean, you could easily kind of keep the ball behind the 8, but the 1 and the 6 are a problem. Might as well, right? Get them out.
Yep, you got to play the 1 to the 3 next. If you get to the 3 naturally leads to the 6. And then you got to
see. He's looking at the safe. I think. Where's the 3 gonna go?
Right, that's the big issue. Right, that's what you want to be thinking about if you're gonna play the safety.
But I mean, I like your way of going at this though, because even if you play a safe and you get back to the table, you're still struggling with the 1 and the 6. So I don't know. Is it like a percentage shot now? Or you're going to be shooting that hard shot later.
And that goes back to just my style of play. I'm always going to be kicking myself if I feel like I can make that 1.
What if he plays a perfect lockup safe on the 8, though? Then you get ball at head. I mean, I'm just
that's
playing
hard
it
to
out.
argue with.
Yeah, right. It is. Well, got to go with the exact example there for you. He tried. It snuck out on him.
Yep.
He had a little bit too much
and
right
to be
English.
fair, right, he only sold out a tough 14.
Right. It's an opportunity, though, for Randy.
Yeah, you can also play another safety back and just clip the 11, put him on the 8, right?
I mean, I don't mind the 14 as long as you don't get nervous and draw it into the side. I've seen, how nerves come into play.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You can easily draw this cue ball into the side pocket from here.
Like I said, that's why I wanted to see the Hill match to see how these guys fare against
Well, you got it.
each other.
You got what you wanted.
See, this is a big shot. This is a big shot if you're thinking about this 14.
We're putting James and MH on ice for a little bit. Hopefully they found a table to practice on somewhere.
It looks like they did in the back somewhere.
Good. Oh, there's MH.
With Mason.
Ooh. Oh, I think I got a little flipped around there. Okay.
All right. So now, these balls are wide open.
I think at this point, you got to go for the aggressive play.
Yeah, there's no doubt, right?
Your first shot, 12 ball, draw back for the 14, too technical.
Nope.
I mean, if you overhit it, you got the 13.
Yes. Or underhit it, you got the 13. You always have the 13.
You notice he put bottom left on that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That I think it just killed the cue ball, right? He can hit it a little more full that way and kind of throw it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's that running cut. A lot of people use a little running
Yeah.
when you're cutting balls with draw. For me, that's how I've learned how to do it. Lately, I've been trying to correct that, though. I've been trying to just do draw without running, and I miss a lot more.
Yeah. Do you hit him full?
Yeah, I hit them too full because I'm always planning for the spin, but it's like, how did I learn that?
Row, yeah.
Right? That's way harder.
Way harder.
It's like, just learn how to hit the ball in the hole. Ooh, there's that thickness again on that same cut.
Yeah, he's really taking advantage of the table, of the new conditions. So just roll here.
Yeah, I like rolling forward, trying to be off the rail if possible, but you know what? Take what you get.
Right.
Natural shape going back down table for the 11.
I think you're right as far as just staying off the rail.
You just don't want to be straight in.
Hits that one thick, too. He is really using that slick rail.
He is straight in on the worst possible side of this, I think, unless can he use top and kind of stun off the rail? You're going to have to put a lot of power into this.
Yeah, I don't even like that. I think if I'm Randy here, you just got to
take the hard shot.
Take the medicine,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe bump the 8, shooting the 11, whatever the case may be.
Even if you juice this up with inside, you can come off on a weird angle where you got to run into the 8 off the 11.
He heard you.
So he just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many players would have tried to get better position on that and probably missed?
Me.
Yeah, well,
I would have.
Let's hear the chat. Come on, speak up. How many of you guys would have tried to use top draw, power draw, jacked up?
So this is awkward bridging, very missable because of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know,
okay.
It's not a full gimme.
It's not over at all.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I don't like the one in the side.
I think you got to play the one in the corner.
Yeah. And then just don't scratch.
Right.
You know, on either.
Yep.
Ooh, you guys got what you paid for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. This is a big shot. I think you just got to really focus on burying this one ball. This is what it all comes down to, right? And really, you might not even sell out the 11 here if you hit it good.
Dennis says, I would have tried to draw it.
See what I'm saying? You might not even sell the 11, but I think that 11 might cut past the 8 up in the left. Oh, it does. I'm looking down the barrel.
I was just thinking, I think if you just tap this in, maybe even use the 6 to stop it. Right.
Right down the barrel. It goes right by the 8.
I mean, these
almost
guys
a
are
full pocket.
They're trading off, rolling out the red carpet for each other. Who's going to take advantage of this and win this game? Which will win the match.
Yeah, these are nervy shots. These are what we like to see. These are like all the pressure.
Oh, 100% they're nervous a little bit.
You got it.
Wow. I mean, now you're not nervous anymore. You know you can make the 8. It's almost straight in.
Wow. What a match.
Unbelievable.
What a match.
Unbelievable.
Both players played great. I really enjoyed the battle. Both of them fought hard. Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah, I want to thank Kyle Drake for helping me out. I'm Chris G. We're at the Mad Apple Burger and Billiard, Appleton, Wisconsin, and we'll be right back. We're going to start a new stream. I know we got a bunch of viewers now, but it's going to go right back to our YouTube channel within 5 minutes. Go ahead and click it. We got James and MH. It's our Knights match, which is the 600 unders, and they're both very close to 600. Should be amazing. We'll see you guys soon.